Alright, we're back. Hey Brody, hey Crammel. Crammel, you're here just in time. We're going to be seeing Mia running down the hallway again. When we break apart, I check on our time limit. My phone says there's still 20 minutes before school is out. Hopefully, Iadican has a free period right now. You ready? Olivia gives a small nod. I get up and start towards the door. The door held open with the back of my shoe, I look back to her. As Olivia wheels over, she grunts with each push. Oh, crap, I'm an idiot. Once she reaches me... Hey, Aiden. Slime boy? Am I the slime boy? Inko uses his sixth sense to make the elevator open up faster. Hey, Andrew Parsons. And close faster, too. Maybe. Once she reaches me, Olivia gives me a very meaningful look. He does look kind of like Professor X, so... Though I don't really get its intent until her tail wraps itself around my wrist. Oh, right. Taking Olivia's reins for her, we start towards our art teacher's room in companionable silence. Man, I can't wait to just go home and relax, maybe open a bag of chips. Olivia's tremoring has fallen to a 2 on the Richter scale, so that's nice. She's seen enough of Mia to last a while. Then again, so have I. She'd probably kill us if she saw us sneaking off. We're near the end of it all. It's nearly over. It's the first bit of quiet that we get, just the sounds of Olivia and I walking through the halls. Olivia's gripping my wrists pretty hard. I guess she's still pretty tense. Say, maybe there's a massage place around here. That'd be pretty nice right now. Wait a second, just the sounds of Olivia and I walking through the halls? Something ancient awakens in me. An icy chill races down my spine as if there's a knife poised just behind my neck. The Gator girl tenses, head stiffly turning. Her pupils slowly shift to mine, and their contraction to pinpoints bring attention to the danger my ancestral instincts are warning me of. Inko is Professor X and Anon is Saitama. Sorry to hear that, Andrew. Hope the chores go well, though. It's an important thing to do. Sup? You two trying to run a... Fight or flight reflexes kick in. Zero thoughts on my end. My body chose to just book it. Hit him with a glitter bomb. Mark Rover. This must have taken so long to draw. Get that Boston girly. Wham. For a moment, I wonder if the deafening noise of the metal doors being hit is from Mia punching it in rage or accidentally slamming into it chasing after us. When I catch you, I will eviscerate you and every last thing you love. Fuck. The elevator finally begins its descent downwards. I exhale deeply. Olivia gasps for breath. My arm stings from Olivia's razored grip. Good thing I have a jacket. Her claws have shredded the sleeve. I think it may have even drawn blood. I shake my arm a bit, and Olivia retracts her hands apologetically. Sorry. Oh god, are you okay? No, I'm not. What happens when we reach the bottom? Mia will be waiting for us. Olivia removes the key from its slot. It won't open. Just don't make any noise. The elevator reaches the bottom. Just as Olivia said, without the key, the outmoded chamber simply powers down. Silence. There's a small gap underneath the door, letting light in. There's nobody there. We sit in the dark, empty cabin for what feels like minutes. I'm pressed close to Olivia while we wait it out. I can feel her tail wrap around my ankle, which thankfully won't rip my clothing apart. The phrase, 7 minutes in heaven, surfaces in my mind and is buried immediately. It's a bit warm in here. Shh. Heavy, rapid footsteps zone in on us, accompanied by the sound of ripping paper. Mia's destroying everything on the walls. You fuckers had better still be in there. If you cowards run away, so help me, Raptor Jesus. She's right in front of the door. I hear her heavy breathing and soft thuds as she attempts to put an ear to the door a few times. I try to stay as silent as possible, but I'm afraid that the homicidal parasaur can hear my heart hammering in my chest, hammering in my chest in pants-crapping horror. Mia, with no intention to vent her frustrations verbally, resorts to the next best thing. Mia gets to show off her athleticism in animation. Yeah, physical therapy. We're surrounded by the sounds of ripping paper, dented lockers, drywall fracturing. How do you do this and not get expelled? On occasion, something hits the elevator door again. Olivia and I don't dare move. I hear other voices. Mia's drawn attention to herself. Who the fuck are you looking at? Do you want one less horn? Find someone, quick! I fucking swear I've had it with that fucking luggage case on wheels. Good luck painting when you're eating through a straw, bitch legs crock-a-cunt. Olivia takes a sharp breath. Silence. What was that sound? It sounds like a series of sharp cracks. Hey, whoa. Hey, it's all cool. It's not what it looks like, it's, Rapid footsteps echo from down the hall. Is she gone? What the fuck could have scared Mia like that? There's a light knock on the elevator door. Hey, anyone in there? He sounds exhausted, but it's definitely Iadakan. By now my eyes have adjusted to the light. Olivia's relief is palpable and shared, my body finally relaxing and practically melting against the wall of the tiny elevator. We're going to have to tell Iadakan. It's safe to come out. It's all clear. Well, it looks like a stick of dynamite went off out here, but otherwise it's fine. I look at Olivia, who stares at the key in her hand. You think you may have hinted to the fact that she's hot in past streams? She's still pretty evil, though. The animation also suggests that she might not have been wearing a bra. Dude, I would never have noticed that. She moves to unlock the elevator, but hesitates. I think our teacher's able to sense it, since his tired voice carries the weight of his worry. Everything will be okay, I promise. But she doesn't put it in, she just stares. You don't know that. Olivia whispers softly. I can barely make it out. God, please. Putting that key in and opening up means telling Iadakan everything. There's no way Mia's letting this slide. Nothing's a safe bet. Nothing can be said for sure. She can't do nothing, and she can't do anything either. So she looks to me, as if I have the answer. The key is offered to me, delicately held between two of her claws. Do not take the key. My hands cup hers, eliciting a small gasp from the girl. Even with the darkened lenses of my shades, I can make out her moon-silver eyes filled with all the worries of this past month. Worries she'd endured because of our friendship. And possibly more. Inko. My fingers curl softly, pushing the key back into her palm. My lips move, but no sound comes out. He'll understand, Olivia. Either from my unspoken words or my comforting grip, Olivia is able to gather her courage. We share a simple nod, and her hand finally moves to the panel. With the key inserted and twisted, the dark room shudders briefly before the metal door finally starts to slide open. We're greeted by the sight of our teacher, looking very haggard, his brow slick with sweat and holding some strange black rod. It's probably taking everything that he has right now just to stay up on his feet, given what's going on with him. Olivia reels back at the sight of the odd baton. Thanks for saving us, Mr. Iadakan. Don't thank me just yet. I'm gonna need an explanation for all of this. So is Principal Scalar, for that matter. He steps aside and motions us out of the elevator with a wave of the broad stick. Come along now, give the janitor some time to take care of the mess. Holy shit, it looks like Mia tried to destroy everything within her reach in the hallway. On the ceiling, a pipe is leaking water intended for fountains and toilets. How did she get the ceiling? A group of dinos in overalls round the corner, looking absolutely pissed. Our teacher waves at them and begins escorting us to his room. It's a Trish situation. I feel like Mia's worse than Trish, because Trish at least, like, believes that she's doing good and, like, cares about people besides herself. Mia, on the other hand, is just blatantly selfish and mean. Our teacher waves at them and begins escorting us to his room. All the adrenaline has faded now, and I can feel the acute pain in my arm. Olivia's hand reaches back behind her head to the arm that she had grabbed, and her fingers delicately loop around the spot. Mia has the worst traits of both Naomi, emotional manipulation, and Trish, bigoted bully, without either of their redeeming features. She's purely selfish. The Snoot villains were merely misguided. Yeah, definitely. She's just not three-dimensional at all, is her main issue. She looks back, her mouth shut tight, but her sympathetic eyes telling me she's sorry. I nod back with a comforting smile. Sure, it hurt, but I knew she didn't mean it. We look forward again to the door of Yadican's classroom. Olivia sighed and resigned herself to explaining everything to our teacher. Olivia looked ready to collapse. She had taken the better part of an hour explaining Mia's extortion in full detail to Mr. Yadican. Let me know if the music gets too loud. I can turn it down a bit. I grab Olivia's canteen and hand it to her. She greedily chugs the entire thing, gasping after and rubbing her sore throat. It was hard to get a read on what our teacher was thinking. His brow was furrowed, his fingers steepled, and he was muttering to himself. Finally, with a deep sigh, he stands from his desk and looks at the exhausted girl. I had a feeling something was going on, but to this extent. You should have come forward sooner. I know, but we're here now, aren't we? Fair point. Still, I'm concerned that you thought nobody would notice. I didn't think anybody would care to look. Those assignments go through dozens of eyes, you know. What do you mean? Your style, Olivia. I saw it from a mile away, and I was just waiting for you to talk to me. You knew? Why didn't you say anything? I wanted it to come from you. Don't worry, I'm not going to lecture you. Raptor Jesus knows you've had enough of that already. You two did well for yourselves, though. I'm proud of that. All we did was run away from Mia. Mr. Yadican sighs, but not long after, he gently smiles at us. What matters is that you two found strength in each other and reached out for help. With what we have on Mia now, we can justify watching her like a hawk from here on. Anybody else she was harassing ought to thank you. Are you sure she's actually going to get in trouble for this? At this point, we'd look bad if we didn't punish Mia for this kind of behavior. That's a relief. If Mia's creator wasn't kicked from the team, maybe she would have been more fleshed out and given redeeming qualities. She's just lucky she has her body. Yeah, both of those are true. Aw man, she's gonna be in for a nightmare once she gets older and her looks fade and she doesn't have anything but her personality to rely on. Come on, you two can hunker down here until school clears out. You sure? You were going to stay after like always anyway, right? Yeah? The loud noise makes me stumble to the floor. Mr. Yadican? Whoops. You heard he was insisting on her being too good, though? Yeah, that wouldn't really work. Like, my interpretation of Mia before I learned that she wasn't going to have any character development was that she feels the need to be fake in order to succeed, and, like, she's just acting all the time, and she's never actually genuinely being herself. Which is an interesting idea, but that's not what we got. Yadican looks at the device in his hand. Is that a taser? There's a piece of tape on it with something written on it. Estrus Protocol? Anyway, I'm going to run and get some things done. They're going to want my account on paper pretty soon. I may as well knock it out of the way. With no care at all, Mr. Yadican chucks the electric weapon onto his desk before turning to the doorway. Don't burn the place down, all right? Alone, I go to sit near the back of the classroom. Looking out the window, I finally let out a huge sigh I'd been holding in. Olivia rolls over to join me, and surprisingly, she's smiling. You were right, Inko. I could trust him. We sit in silence, just looking out the window. When school is let out, we watch the crowd of students going home. I don't see Mia in the crowd, but that doesn't matter. I think, despite it all, Olivia's life is going to be just a bit easier after today. You'd like a rewrite of Wani with that view of Mia in mind? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure somebody's gonna fix it eventually. While students trickle out of the school, Olivia took the chance to unwind. I figured it would be best to let her rest as I saw her drooping eyelids finally shut. She looked cute, just napping idly in her wheelchair, except for the weird bellowing. It was like a snore, except I could feel it vibrating through the floor. With the clouds hiding the sun and the classroom's lights turned off, I could do with some shut-eye too. But I can't bring my eyes closed. Instead, I look out the window. The layer of clouds overhead steadily grows more dense, casting a darker shade on everything. Light raindrops prick against the glass. Crap, I really should have brought my umbrella. As a few minutes go by, they roll in closer and closer, blocking out the sunlight. If Olivia were awake, she'd think this was pretty neat. I look back to her. Maybe I could nap too. Just a little. What was... Oh. My eyes are drawn upward to the heavy clouds in the sky. In moments, the glass of the window is assailed by numerous heavy droplets of rain. Holy moly. The trees outside are billowing almost aggressively. Several small branches are stripped away from the torrential downpour. An umbrella wouldn't help with this. Huh? What? My phone's blaring an alarm. So is Olivia's. Instructions to shelter in place for several hours. The classroom door is thrust open quickly. Mr. Iadican is back, panting hard and clothes-drenched. He takes our moment of surprise to compose himself as best he can. Sorry about that. The faculty is doing a sweep of the campus right now. Apparently, there's a monsoon scare. Monsoon? Does that happen here? Iadican gestures to his drenched outfit and out the window as if to ask if Mia had clocked me in the head after all. Right. Are we going to be all right? Oh, of course. Schools are designated shelters for the worst disasters. If anything, you're safer here than at home. But the hallway outside is open, isn't it? I just finished putting the cover up. A cover? Just keep close to the wall, yep? What do we do now? Iadican shakes his phone at us. Shelter in place. We're all stuck here for a few hours. Olivia reaches into her bag and pulls out her drawing book and a well-used pencil. Actually, why don't you use this time to catch up on some schoolwork? I'm sure you have some work from other classes still pending, and I can't think of a better time to tackle that than now. But today's been rough. Can't I do this or finish my nap instead? That's fine too, but aren't you falling behind grade-wise in some of your other classes? Maybe. Ugh, fine, I'll catch up on some of that work. Iadican gives a single nod and smiles. You always remember the punch-drunk Gator fix scene where the protag is making out with Olivia when this scene shows up? You're both scared and aroused by the thought of actually seeing what school is like during Estrus season. Probably there's fan fiction, some mysteries should remain unsolved. I agree with that. Some mysteries should remain unsolved, but I'm sure that's out there. Olivia puts away her drawing materials and instead pulls out her bulky mathematics books, which she sets on the table with more force than necessary, followed by her notebook. With some hesitation on her part, Olivia sets herself to work. Meanwhile, I bring myself closer to her in case she wants some help with the work. After a few minutes, it's clear that her mind and spirit isn't into the work one bit. She constantly fidgets, taps her pen on the table, and looks around the room and out the window. Eventually, she lets out a groan and slams her book shut. Ugh, this sucks. Can I please do something else? Iadican, who had been busying himself with grading some paperwork, snaps up away from his work, looking at Olivia while rubbing his chin. Well, there is one other thing you could help out with. I would need both of your help with it. I would even consider it a new extra assignment. What do you say? I don't know, today's been pretty rough on Olivia. Absolutely, I'll do it. Alright. Wonderful, it's back here. He starts walking to the back of the room and waves for the two of us to follow him. Whoa, something in the dark room? Aw man, I thought we wouldn't get to do anything in there until the last few weeks of the semester. Are we going to be getting a head start on this section? Maybe we'll be making prints or learning about C41 and... Huh? Oh, Olivia's poking my back. Quit it with the cinematic gait, you're going too slow. Oops. Blue Star, make your own Snoot game now. I don't know how to draw, and I'm not that good at writing, to be honest. I'm pretty good at vocabulary, but, like, when it comes to constructing a fictional scenario, that's all Greek to me. Star Blue, it's fine. Either one is valid. I shake the excitement off, and I head into the dark room. Iadican holds the door open for the two of us to enter. The inside glows a vibrant crimson light. Iadican's suit appears to light up in the red lights, as does my shirt. I've only actually been in a dark room once before. This is so cool. I clasp my hands together. So, what are we developing? Qui, this is an important job just for you. All right, I'm ready for it. What am I developing? Your lower back. There's a click of a switch and the red lights switch to normal lights and properly illuminate the room. There's boxes over there. I need one at each station around the room, but they're too heavy for me. If you can, of course. Legally, I can't make you do any of this. Do I at least get extra credit? You get one of the bags of chips I keep hidden in my desk. Fine. Nice. Come on, Olivia, we should clear the way for him. There actually is something in the box we'll need in a bit. The two move back to the entrance, and I'm faced with the myriad of boxes I'll have to carry. It looks like there's about 10. They're pretty medium-sized, like you could lift a table lamp with them. How heavy can they... Ugh! Thud. Lift with your knees, Inko. This is gonna suck. Do the writing and hire an artist. Oh man, I can't even hire an artist for a model at this point. I look at Olivia, and she already has her phone out and pointed my way. Damn it. I shift my legs and try again. I actually managed to get this thing off the ground. This must weigh at least 70 pounds. What are these loaded with, bricks? Something like that. Careful, they're fragile. Finally, I get the last box in its place. I pick a chair and collapse in a heap. My muscles are on fire. Though, to be honest, I don't know if I could have done all that at the beginning of the year. I guess I'm getting stronger. Yadikan walks back into the dark room with a small black toolbox. Oh good, you're done. Come on out and take a breather. That looked tough. I'd rather stay here. Olivia shows up in the doorway behind Yadikan. I'm surprised you didn't use the dolly. What dolly? Before you get started with me, Inko, you didn't ask. For the love of... I hate you. That's the spirit. Olivia stifles her laughter into a snickering snort fest. Your mood will improve when you see just what you've been carrying. Oh? He grabs a box cutter from a shelf and slices the top of one open. Our teacher pulls out what looks like a large overhead lamp from the box. Oh, sweet. So that means that you'll be making your own prints for midterms. That sounds awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to... But before any of that, these need to be assembled. The rest of the parts are taken from the first box and set down meticulously. Olivia's gotten curious as she's rolled up to the station and handling one of the funnier-looking pieces. Anywho, here you two go. Wait, 2? Yes, 2. Don't think I didn't notice you watching Inko so much. The stammered denial from Olivia does nothing to wipe the cheeky grin from our teacher's face. Make up the names of places and people with simple descriptions for them, then get people to help you make the game. Maybe. But what about you, Mr. Yadikan? I'll be right back. He makes his way to the door again. Get started without me, I need to go fetch some things. Before either Olivia or I can speak up, he's left the room. Olivia already has the toolbox open on her lap. Right then. I grab the folded up instructions and lay it out, seeing the details of the bizarre device fully assembled. Okay, so, Funk. Step 1. Hand me the next piece. Oh, did I scare you? Yes, you scared me. These things are heavy. What if you dropped that on something? I didn't, though. But you could've. And I didn't. Olivia's tail reaches for some brackets, but I grab the limb before she can take them. Hold on, we gotta do things right or the enlarger might not work right. She retracts her tail from the table. Lesson of the day, you can find an old white man anywhere if you look hard enough. You're no fun, it's just an oversized lamp. That's a gross oversimplification. You're a gross oversimplification. Yadikan's gonna make you use the one you break. It just means I can sketch more, right? Obligatory Liam FJ1 plush mention. Ah, okay. I'm not sure who that is, but, sounds like it's probably a cool plush. Well, it'd mean you can't participate and learn about photography. Photography's your thing, so it doesn't really apply to me much, does it? Well, maybe that's the case for you, but photography's my thing. It's the whole reason I took this class, after all. Oh, sorry. It's nothing. Olivia politely rests her hands in her lap. Her eyes linger on the box of parts. Well, how does it work, then? The print enlarger? She shakes her head. Photography. Like, why the giant lamp thing? It's all digital today, right? Huh. I think that's the first time someone's actually asked me about it. Sure, I've had lots of mid-shower rehearsals explaining my hobbies and their cultural significance to others, but none of that's coming to me right now. It's all about shot composition, and this machine is just part of the production of it. Getting all the right things in the right places at the right time to evoke a certain feeling. Look up Liam F. Jeon, then you'd understand. Okay, I'll look him... Composition is a thing in painting too, you know. I'll look him up at the end of the photography yap. I'm ill-prepared for Olivia's comeback. Yeah, but it's a lot easier to pick the composition that you want. You don't have to worry about any factors other than yourself. With photography, you have to build the set to get a good photo. That's the fun of it. But why would you want to limit yourself like this? Why not just draw whatever you're taking a picture of instead? You could express all kinds of things you could never express with a photo. Olivia taps a claw on the imager, the metallic ping echoing in the small room. What sets all this junk apart from just lines on a page? The technique and vision. She smirks at my petulant comment. Fine, I'll show her. I'll prove to you that this takes skill. I hold the lighting portion up, making sure it's at the right angle, and fashion the last portion of the enlarger in. I plug the machine in and flip the switch, happy that it works right and lights up the entire base. Olivia looks at me with confusion as I move to the entrance of the room and flick the light switch, bathing the room in bright red again. Going back to our workspace, I pulled the developed negatives from my backpack and slot the slide I want into the carrier. And ta-da! The negative carrier in place in the machine, a blurry gray blob is projected onto the base. What? Give me a minute. I hold the manual under the light to the side of the blob, checking which knob is which and slowly turn them. As the lens and billows shift, the Rorschach test transforms, gaining more definition until finally it becomes the spitting image of the school's front entrance. I can even do this. I take out the negative and place another atop of it before slotting the carrier back in while also increasing the strength of the light. The image displayed is now the entrance with half a dozen semi-transparent students in front of it. What did you do? I overlapped another shot. The backgrounds are the same and doubled up, so I had to intensify the light, otherwise the entrance would be too dim. So, that would take me a few minutes to do, tops. It'd look a lot better, too. She smirks, but I think she's feigning her apathy this time. Her tail gives her away. It's a lot more technical, I guess, but I only knew how to do this kind of stuff from Mr. Iadican's lectures about negatives. What else can you do with this thing? I don't know, but... What's that smell? Oh, shit! I pull out the negative carrier and wince at how hot it is. Crap, shit. Olivia's quick to rip the plug from the socket. With my sleeve, I open up the carrier and see that I've managed to melt the two negatives together. Aw, man, I was gonna use that. All that work, and I go and mess it up trying to prove something. Olivia's never gonna let me live this down. The green Gator girl lays a sympathetic hand on my shoulder, to my surprise. Hey, shit happens. I've ruined a lot of paintings in the past, too, you know. She takes the reels from the warm metal plate and holds them up to the red light, trying to see through them. Think of Dino Waifu's crippling emotional problems. What is the main character's crippling emotional problems? And Pink Dino Bro. Add Student Council Parasaur. Add Adult Swim references. Give everyone hobbies. Use your own if you think your own experiences will add verisimilitude. Adding that word to my lexicon, even though I'm pretty sure you just made it up. I don't know, I'd want to subvert things, though. It wouldn't be a pink raptor, bro. It would be a blue raptor, bro. Yeah, the writers clearly knew a lot about photography. She takes the reels from the warm metal plate and hold them up to the red light, trying to see through them. Though, I took a college photography class with actual film, and our darkroom didn't have a red light like in all the movies. It was just really, really dim. I don't know if that's because we were underfunded, probably. And you've got more shots in this thing. But I liked those shots. Then go retake them. It's not that easy. Like, it has to be the exact same time and weather and... lighting? Okay, let me look up Liam H.F. John real quick. Is that a backpack? It's a backpack? I thought it would be a man. Okay. It definitely would make a good plushie, though. The abrupt darkness coincides with the vague ambient sound of ventilation shuddering to a halt. The blackness is all-encompassing. I can't even see Olivia, who I know is right next to me. Inko? Her voice helps me confirm that we're still alive in some fashion, but there's a shakiness in her tone which sends a tense rattle down my spine. Our breathing is the only noise, as if we'd been encapsulated in a void of nothingness. I'm still here. I know that. I plant my hand down the brace of her snout, feeling the still warm metal of the enlarger bait. But, yeah, I guess the school lost power. I feel something cover my hand, and then squeeze. Painfully. Ow, 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 ow. Sorry. The pressure lessens, but she doesn't let go of my fingers. You own him. He comes from the show called One. The HFJ is added because the creator is named Cheesy HFJ. Oh, okay. That makes sense. No, it's fine. There's a subtle shake in the scaly limb in my hand, but when I brush my thumb across it, the limb eases. Hey, stop that. Stop what? Just stop that thing you're doing with your hand. I shrug. And then I want to slap my face when I realize she can't see that. Alright. Standing here in the darkness of the dark room isn't getting us anywhere. We should go find... Wham. Olivia, Inko. Ah! My instincts kick in. I hop back to make space between us and the killer. I turn my back to them to become a defensive wall. I wrap my arms around Olivia's head to make sure she's 100% protected. Hey, it's me, Mr. Yatakan. It took a bit to find a flashlight, but with how this room is, I look up to the shining white pterodactyl pointing the flashlight at his own face. Oh. Get off me, you git. Oof. So I've noticed that Olivia keeps using British slang, and I'm wondering if she's supposed to have an accent. I'm not even going to attempt that if that's the case, but it's just something that I wonder about. Look, I'm not paying you two to get frisky in the closet. That's what Trigham's class is for. Mike peeking is real? Holy crap, is it? Sound levels look okay. They wasted a perfectly good opportunity to make out. We're not fris. Mr. Iadican holds up a pale hand, his grin widening. Relax, I'm just joking around. He leans against the doorway to get a better look inside the dark room with his flashlight. Power's out for the whole block, and apparently our backup generator is decades old and it's only keeping the AC on. Someone should get fired for that. Come on, we can wait it out in the studio. Olivia follows me out to the main classroom as we trail slowly in Mr. Iadican's wake. The slow sounds of his gait sets a nice contrast to the rain lashing against the windows. Whoa, it's really coming down outside. Think it'll flood? It floods here? Sometimes. The ground floor classrooms used to have carpet, you know. Iadican starts pulling something out of his desk, but it's too dark to see what. Ugh, don't remind me. That junk just sucked away half a year's funding. You ever try teaching people about watercolors without the friggin' watercolors? Was ridiculous. I remember. You were the most upset. All right. He sets some tiny tea lights down on one of the desks and begins lighting them. The tiny wicks are set alight with the tiniest of embers, providing the bare minimum of illumination for us to see. Your personal headcanon for Olivia's voice is the same as Joan of Arc's in Clone High? Yeah, that would make sense. I kind of imagine her being somewhat raspy, even if she's well hydrated. I don't know, it's just how I think an alligator would sound. Clearly they need to take classes from the teacher that Iadican mentioned who does pay students to make out or something. I'm pretty sure that's a crime. I don't... Won't those trigger the fire alarms? We should be fine. They're too small by themselves. What are those for? Been saving them for a rainy day. We're going to be stuck for a while, so why not make it a camp out? Camping? I like the sound of that. Won't we get in trouble, though? It'd be trespassing, right? It's either this or trying to go home in the storm. As if to illustrate his point, the weather decided to chime in. Besides, schools are usually made with sheltering in mind. There's all kinds of procedures for this, like bringing everyone to the gym and breaking out some really moldy cots. Olivia winces. Those haven't been replaced? Our budget has been in the red for years, Miss Halford. Part of why we're being scrutinized right now with that whole audit business. Anyway, we're the only ones left on campus, so I'm not gonna go through all that trouble. Plot twist. Coach Solly is committing tax, What's it called? Embezzlement. Coach Solly is embezzling all the funds for hats. So just relax for now. I've already called a taxi for the both of you. Taxi? I made the call as soon as the power went out. It's gonna be a while to get one ready and send it out. What'll we do in the meantime? Our teacher has a wicked grin. You're not done with that homework, right? Oh, I'm kidding. Time and the storm carry on, yet things are surprisingly calm. Olivia pretends to focus on her work while I pretend to help her, but soon enough, Mr. Iadican starts sharing wild stories about previous semesters. You know, a few years back, somebody tried to take his hat right off his head. Let me tell you, I've never seen a shovel fly so fast. That sounds appropriately violent. Either way, Olivia slowly loosens the facade of productivity, and I join her not long after. You know, I still owe you for ruining your one coat last year. Oh, forget about it. I have dozens of them in my closet anyway. You don't remember if you stated this before, but you made an art piece of Liam, FJ1, and Olivia making out. The only reason I regret it is because someone remade it and it was cursedly good. Maybe she has a deeper version of Rainbow Dash's raspiness. You have a hard time not imagining her as having a distinctly gruff voice. Yeah, it's just kind of the way she expresses herself. You too? The eerie ambience from the blackout is quickly overridden by our combined laughter. Eventually, we run out of things to say and just wait quietly in each other's company. Iadican slumps downwards in his chair. Long day today. He glances out the window, still being assaulted by sheets of rainwater outside. Normally, I'm home by now, resting. You two mind if I relax a little here? No, go ahead. Thanks. He stretches behind him, cracking his spine against the groove of the chair. Olivia, I've been meaning to say. You're usually so quiet, reserved, isolated, even. I've noticed you're being a bit more friendly recently. Huh? You think so? You've been in my class all 4 years. Of course I would. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned, but it hurts me to see a student hurt themselves like that. When you're in the adult world, you'll see this all the time. Once someone's in a rut, they tend to just stay there until their days blend together instead of lifting themselves up. Like they've got all the time in the world. So, I'm proud of you for making an effort, Olivia. Oh, Mr. Iadican, I mean... Don't be flustered. Be proud, Olivia. You've managed to form a friendship. Of course, I appreciate you extending an olive branch too, Inko. Me? It's no problem, Mr. Iadican. Come on, school hours are over. You can drop the mister. I mean, it's not something to be thanking me for, is it? I'm just her friend. That is great to hear, though. You can't always navigate this world alone. Someone to keep company can really help. Aw, man, he knows. It's so sad. He knows. He can? More than you can imagine. Iadican leans forward to place a hand over both of ours. He just barely makes contact with Olivia's wrist when she winces and yanks it back. Shit. Olivia, are you alright? Ow, I'm fine. That just hurt. It was fine before, though. You've been trying to stay off that wrist all day. Was it that bad? It was feeling better. I even helped build those doohickeys. The print enlargers. He covers his eyes with one hand. Of course, great move. Student's been overworking herself, and I think to give extra physical work. What am I doing? It wasn't your fault. I didn't want you to worry. I had no idea how bad it was. He leans forward again, gently holding Olivia's wrist, inspecting it and being careful not to cause any pain. You need to take care of yourself, Olivia. If something were to happen, I know you'd be completely beside yourself. I know. I know you were doing extra work, but how did it even get this bad? It was a lot of extra work. Doing a whole group's assignments on top of my own? For the last 3 weeks, basically all my free time? It's great practice, at least that's what I was telling myself. Olivia does her best to hide her wincing as the teacher tests her arm. I never would have made it to graduation. All because of that painting you switched. He shakes his head and lets go of Olivia. No, it goes further than that. That painting was all because of the pain you've been going through all these years. All because of that first contest entry, hanging in the gala. Your first venture into the art world, and it went how it did. Olivia looks down at her hand, stretching the fingers out and in, slowly, carefully. My hand moves without a thought, fingers taking her hand carefully to help in some way or another. You made the art piece an emoji in a server you're in just now? Oh yeah, that's cool. I kind of wanted to use the art piece as the background, but I really like the dark forest better. You and that painting. Our teacher palms his face and groans into it. It's a genuinely good piece, Olivia. I've told you that so many times. She locks up, but manages a small nod. What a horrible chain of events. I've had to witness it all these years. Watched as it's taken your friends, your self-worth, that little smile that you had when you first came into my class. And now it's ruining your health. He gently lets go and covers his own eyes again. And I really just sat here and watched it? I was just talking about how people act like they have more time than they have. Yatakan? Are you alright? I'm super. I'm more than okay. In fact, I've made up my mind about something. You. Take her to the gala, please. There's something I want you two to see. No words, just do it, please. I nod. What are you going to show us? He stops at the door. Something you should have seen a long time ago. My shoes slosh noisily through the flooded hallway as we slowly head back to the main building of the school. Olivia herself had used her arms to tuck her legs up onto her seat, head now resting on her knees. Yatakan didn't seem to care, each of his steps splashing water around and soaking his slacks. The drains on the floor are working overtime, keeping the water at a minimal level. An unsettling feeling washes over me as we enter the atrium, the interior of the school pitch black from the lack of lighting. At least we aren't dealing with wet floors, but navigating the halls in the dark is a new difficulty. Olivia brought out her phone, using its flash as a light to shine our way, but I'm still unnerved. The only sound I hear is the squelches of my shoes and the awkward dripping from both Olivia and I. And it was then that I realized that Yatakan had left us behind. Mr. Yatakan? Her voice bounces down the dark halls of the school. Did you see where he went? Kinda. I think he went that way. I can just make out Olivia's hand pointing, thanks to her phone, towards the school's offices. I keep pushing Olivia, though taking my time as I feel my shoes threaten to slip with each step I take. It's a slow going between the eerie darkness and my slow steps. What should have taken us a minute at most takes about 3 minutes for us to arrive at the gala. Well, we're here. The storm rages against the glass ceiling. What's normally the source of the hall's natural lighting is completely obscured by the typhoon, and there's still no sign of Yatakan. I withdraw my phone and turn its flashlight on too, in the hopes to improve the situation. I can hear something else, aside from us and the rain. Something that's getting closer. A tiny red light in the distance there, with the sound. The tiny ember bounces and sways in rhythm with the odd tapping. Until... Here we go. Wood. I'm frozen for a second. The thought forces its way through me. He wouldn't ever hurt us. Yatakan, what are you doing? Something is kicked aside. It's Olivia's painting from the art contest a few weeks back. Invalidates your Discord. Oh, invades. I misread that. It smacks loudly against the glass casing of the display case. Here's Johnny. These are the ones, yeah? What? I'm ignored. Yatakan is staring right at Olivia. She's also struck fearful, but she nods. Yatakan takes a deep breath and faces the display. What are you gonna do with that? Hey. Yatakan, wait. This is a bit extreme, isn't it? Easily the best sequence in the entire game. It's crazy how much all of his scenes hit so much differently when you realize that he's dying. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything. Olivia? It's gone. Both of them. This should have been done long ago. Yeah. Yatakan, it's crazy. I know. What about the other things in the case? Who fucking cares? Those students graduated ages ago. You know how many of them still do art? None. If they're collateral so someone else can, fine by me. But Olivia, you got no other big paintings now, do you? She shakes her head. That's a shame. Look what I just did. I can make another. Yes, that's what I needed to hear. You make me so proud to hear that. Do you remember in sophomore year when you challenged me to think of something I wanted to and set a goal to do it? Of course. I couldn't think of anything back then. But there's been one thing I've been wanting to do for a while now. And like you said, some company could really help. Olivia grips my hand just a little tighter. Promise not to laugh? Never. Would you mind asking me again, Yatakan? Sure. I believe it was, if you could leave right now and go do anything you wanted, what would you want to do? Anything at all? Yep. I want to go see a fountain and paint it for you. Fucking brilliant. There's a fountain here? There's a park not too far from here, and you can barely see a fountain in the center of it from the window. Eat a cheese pizza. Aw, man, that does sound good right now. You can't see it right now in the storm, but I want to go there. I think I know of it. The one in Stig Equestrian Park? That's wonderful, Olivia. Yatakan stumbles a bit. I rush to give him a shoulder, and some shards of glass crunching under my feet. Good thing the power's out. No cameras up or anything. Won't you get in trouble for this? I'm always in trouble for something. And ordinarily, I'd just take the hit, especially for something like this. That Mia chick can take the fall. To hell with her. Olivia manages another small smile. I'm looking forward to that painting. You better get it to me. I will. And you better help. Of course. Yatakan motions for us to wait by the school's entrance. For a while, we sit there. Do you have one, Yatakan? Do you have something that you want to do? I'm already doing it. No, really. Really, teaching high school is a great job that nobody ever regrets. You should pose that question to Inko there. All this character development and he's barely said a word. Alright, Inko, what about you? What do I want to do, huh? If I could pick anything, I guess... true love. A more ambitious dream, I can get behind it. It's a bit unimaginative. That's just hater talk. You should probably start looking more into the how and not the what. Like you would know, I can totally do it. Sure thing, Mr. Successful. Your blog doesn't even have 10 followers. You looked me up? Yeah, got bored. You could at least follow me if you're gonna cyberstalk me. I'll follow you when you make good content. Also, your interpretation of Godzilla you copied from a video essay sucks and you should feel bad. I copy Yatakan's motion with the axe and karate chop Olivia's leg. Didn't feel that, jackass. Well, I guess some banter is a form of motivation as well. Sounds like you have quite the promise to uphold now, Inko. Boo. Even with the disses being thrown around, what stood out most was the wild grin on Olivia's face. Did you miss the painting getting destroyed? Yeah, sorry. New bed being delivered. Had to stop herding the dog away from the worker. Oh, you had to keep. So, there's a crack in my phone. You officially have more Tumblr followers than Inko. Nice. Between the desato of rain and the uproarious laughter, time seemed non-existent. I could feel the muscles in my face ache brought on by bouts of laughter and grinning, which made the taxi's arrival so disappointing. As we were escorted out to the parking lot, our mirth was replaced with something more calm, comfortable, an easy quiet that let my thoughts wander back to the things that we said to each other, back to what our Paro teacher had said, navigating the world alone. For all the times Taro, what the... Why did I make the T silent and the P loud? That's the opposite of how you say it. For all the time I spent around Olivia and her friends, it never really occurred to me that she'd harbor something like loneliness. I mean, Damien alone is like a wild crowd composed of a single madman. And Liz, she's practically the group's nanny or something. Huh. The driver of the yellow van leans into his horn, and I can feel a baleful leer on me even through the haze of fog and raindrops. Olivia draws her hood up, and I hold my jacket above my head. With a final look to Mr. Yadikan, we thank him. No need for thanks. Seeing my students grow and prosper into adulthood is all the reward this old fossil needs. He's only like in his 30s, though. With a wave, he sends us off into the rain, to the irate taximan's van that yells at us about his burning gas. While Olivia works to get herself situated in the cab, I turn back. Mr. Yadikan is sagging, meandering back into the building. Oi, hurry up. Right. It's been about a week since the typhoon. The days after were surreal, with how things just realigned with the old schedule. Yadikan was serious when he told Olivia to keep off that wrist. He effectively banned her from painting until it got better. Meaning all week, I've been doing our work as a group. It was exhausting. But today I'm pretty excited. For the first time, Olivia's actually joining me on the metro. We're headed to the city. It's gonna be a bit of a trip. For the last several nights, Olivia has been using my inbox to store sketching ideas while her wrist heals. Saving. On Thursday, she even attempted sending a few left-handed sketches, but gave up after the third or fourth malformed rat. Then Liz sent a game-changing invitation through our group chat. Her uncle has some business in the city, and he told her she can go do something with the time since it's her car. So she's invited the rest of us to join her for lunch at a fancy place. It's got us pretty thrilled. So many hints now that we know after the fact. Yeah, watching the entire game again is crazy, because it seems like he was absent on the first day of the semester, because that's when he was getting his diagnosis. So, like, the whole time he's been personally coming to terms with it, and this is what that culminated in. In the fic Nun in the Chamber, Iad shows up, and Fang's mom starts working at St. Hammond. She's divorced at that point? Good lord, what happens in Nun in the Chamber? But, yeah, it does look like you could see Iadikan at Fang's funeral for some reason. Though that could be the music teacher holding a bouquet. There's like a fifth mystery person in the faraway shot where you can see Trish, Reed, their parents, and Uncle Mo. I was never able to figure out who exactly that was. It's got me pretty thrilled. Olivia understood the order to stay off her hand, but that doesn't make her less manic about wanting to get back into painting. Why'd you agree if you don't want to go? Well, a trip to the city won't suck so bad if you're there. Even if I really, really want to start that painting. You're almost done healing. It won't be much longer, I know it. But Iadikan said you should at least wait for Monday. Yeah, that too. Besides, I don't want to be around Damien while he's... ugh. Poor guy looked positively miserable when I'd picked Olivia up. He was pale and shaking, and the floor between his feet was left bubbling after a particularly powerful sneeze, foreshadowing. Has it ever been that bad? It happens like once a year. It's the one reason we don't share a room. One moment he's fine, and the next he's inebriated. This car is weird. You ride this every day? Yep, this is even my seat. Right next to the folding accessibility seat? What, did you start accounting for me before we even met? Heh, maybe I did. She mouths something and rolls her eyes, but there's a clear smile after she goes back to watching the passing buildings. Anon stops Fang from committing reset character in E1, that's what... Oh, crap, that actually sounds really interesting. Compared to a car ride together, this felt a little more intimate. Even if there are more people in close proximity, none of them paid us any mind. Just Olivia and I. Several stations later, the metro grinds to a halt at our stop. Alright, you ready? Yeah. Olivia shoos my hand away, and then I go to help her out the metro. We step out to the chilled air of the city. I'm already getting goosebumps. That cold front is really making itself known. We should find Liz quickly before Olivia starts shivering. Are you seeing a long, big green neck anywhere? None that I know of. Great, that sounds awesome. We looked around, through the alleyway, into the closest shops. Maybe she's in the bathroom? I'd wait around, but I don't want to make Olivia wait out in the cold. Public bathrooms at Liz's height must be an absolute nightmare. Did we go to the wrong stop? Just text her already. Crap, right, I'm dumb. What the hey, where'd you go? Oh, some guy named Humo's doing a live reading of it still? Yeah, I might throw that on while I'm at work. It's like a really long shift, and peak is coming up, so that's gonna be like 11, 12-hour days sometimes. A moment later, her head ropes out the door of a nearby coffee shop, followed by the rest of her. Hey, Inko, glad you guys could make it. Yeah, I just got confused. Didn't know you'd be in the cafe there. Really? I've been in there the whole time. I messaged Damien and I went to escape the cold, and... Where's Damien? Oh man, he got nasty sick right before we left. He couldn't make it. But... is he fine? He'll be fine, I think. Oh, okay. Okay, alright. Well, that just throws a wrench into all my plans now, doesn't it? We can still have fun without him, right? Yeah, I know. It was just, well, I was hoping between the four of us, it'd be like a double date. Huh? Yeah, Damien and me, you and Inko. All together for a fancy lunch. Liz, Olivia and I aren't... Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, I just assumed. Boy, this is embarrassing. The whole day seems like everything's gone wrong for me. It's fine. Yeah, well, we can still have a good time. I'm still having lunch with friends. I'm sure you guys will love it too, come on. Liz leads us through the streets, pointing out our destination when it comes to view through the towering skyscrapers. The building is more akin to a narrow spike aimed skyward, with a large disc-like room built near the tip. And you see that space near the top? It's the restaurant. They built it in a way that the whole thing slowly rotates, so your view changes while you eat. You can see the whole city, the ocean, even the mountains. Whoa. I've gone here with my parents all the time as a kid, and I always daydreamed about bringing friends and important guests there, and, well, you know, business-type stuff. This'll be my first time on my own, well, you know. Yeah. You'll see, there's even a... Whoop, hold it. We lost Olivia. We turn around to check our errant Gator friend, who's a bit farther behind and grimacing. She comes slowly rolling in, fighting to hide the slight winces every time she pushes herself. Oh, sorry. It's fine. Are you sure you don't want help? I can manage on my own, please. Alright, you want to lead the way? Alright, it's that Space Needle-looking place, right? She rolls ahead. Liz and I follow behind, continuing our conversation. Ah, yeah, poor Liz. The restaurant is an impressive spire, with the actual seating area 30 floors or so up. After Liz verifies her reservation, we're let into a special elevator with a glass front. After a minute or so of rising above the city, we stop and the doors slide open to reveal the restaurant. It's a circular room, with the seating by the windows and an inner ring for bars and the kitchen making up the center. Definitely a carefully crafted place. I wonder if it'd be the kind of place my parents would bring me to. The waitress greets us and leads us to a table by the windows. One of the seats closest to the window is moved so Olivia's wheelchair can fit by the table. She approaches the space and stops. She's looking down, out the window. Can we switch seats? Afraid of heights? Shut. Alright. I oblige, shifting the seat over so she sits instead by the aisle. Quite a view, huh? I can see why it'd make you squeamish, Olivia. Heights also scare the living daylights out of me. What? Are you afraid of heights, Liz? Well, yeah, isn't everyone? What? That doesn't make any goddamn sense, Liz. Your head hangs 3 stories above your shoulders and heights scare you? Look, acrophobia is the irrational fear of heights, okay? So of course it doesn't make sense, but still... whatever, heights suck. We agree on that at least. So, what do you think? It's very nice. I can see why you two wanted to come here. Liz nods. My family usually comes here once a year. Uncle Ferris has to remember to bring along a letter from the owner saying he's fine to let in, so that he won't bring the whole tower down. What the hell is bisque? Olivia's looking at the menus. Right, we're here to eat. Lobster bisque? It's lobster tail in a creamy kind of soup. Then why not call it lobster soup? Bisque is a stupid word. I look down at the menu myself. There's all your standard options between pastas, sandwiches, cuts of meat, some weird novelty things, but I actually like trying those. I guess I'll have... Volcadera kebab. You sure? With onion rings. If you want it, I'm buying. They serve breakfast all day, too. I'm going with their pancake platter. Liz waves a waitress over and we give our orders. Nostalgia pick? You got me. It takes me way back. She stares out the window. I look out at the horizon as well. The view has shifted a bit to show the mountains. We all look out for a long while. Maybe a little too long. Ordinarily, this would be around the time Damien would say something that kept the conversation going. Alright, he's usually the one bringing us all together. Yeah, it's strange to think about, but Liz and Olivia aren't really more than acquaintances. But during lunch, it's Damien that always makes sure everyone else is included in the conversation. Nothing comes to mind. I don't think I'd make a good Damien. One moment, please. Oh boy, here we go. I did not care for the Godfather. I ring Damien up in the hallway. He's sick, yes, but hopefully he'll have something for me to see. If he picks up, please. Hello? Vinny, I want to talk to Damien. Nah, he's out right now. Mom's with him in the backyard. He's puking his guts out into a bucket. Why? Pest control guys buy it from us for 50 bucks. Gross. What'd you want him for? I can tell him when he comes back in. Oh, why not? I wanted to know how he always keeps our friend group so lively. Like, I was considering small talk, just bringing up movies or something. Ew, no. Movies suck. Nobody actually likes them. What? I'm playing Fortnite. I'll turn it down so you can hear me. I heard what you said. It was just dumb. Was it? Yeah? There's a pause for a moment. Movies always sucked. Like, they started in black and white and without sound, and they never really got any better. Even when they peaked in the 70s, they only barely became watchable. Have you ever even watched The Godfather? Dad made me watch that stuff, and it just sucked. No, you probably just didn't get it. Dad explained the whole plot to me, ins and outs, and it really was just mid-trash. That movie won awards. You can't just call it trash. Yeah, I can. Movies are just a trash genre of content. Even the best ones are usually just polished turds that waste your time. Okay then, what's a good movie? Ever heard of Mr. Beast? How about Storytime animations? Oh, you've gotta be kidding me. I'm not. Any popular content on Usnoop provides more value for your time than the classics that you old people fawn over, and it still sucks. Those aren't even movies. They move and I watch them. Not my point, you troglodytes. As if you could ever even think of comparing that slop to the likes of Star Wars, The Godfather, Blade Runner 2049. Movies are one mashed pile of doo-doo farts, but even it can sometimes make something mediocre. These are billion-dollar franchises. Millions of people would disagree with this deranged nonsense. Doo-doo fart. Oh my god, you little. Listen, you little chump, the next time I see you, I'm gonna wring your little neck like a wash rag. What? Who is this? Shit. It insists upon itself. What does that even mean, it insists upon itself? Society has failed. This child smothers Vinny with a pillow. He can change. He has time. You should fall down the stairs now. Still helping on and off. What were the lunch choices? I picked kebabs. Calm down, calm down. Kill him later. Nuts, I didn't get the advice. I sulk back to my seat and slump down, catching my breath. Whoa, you alright? Your eye is twitching. I don't think I've ever been more angry in my life. What happens? I don't want to talk about it. I rub the tension from my face. Fine, I can be a good Damien all by myself. So, Liz. Yeah? You mentioned when we first met that you wanted to be an art dealer, right? Getting the right people the right paintings, right? How's that going? Oh, yeah, it's going great. I just got accepted to marshalling you, actually. Oh, snap. Yeah, I finally got everything all worked out for myself. I'm gonna hit the ground running once I graduate. That's pretty cool. I'm still figuring things out. You too, right, Olivia? I only got short-term goals right now. But I'm interested in what Liz was talking about. Right, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for Olivia to replace the stolen painting. But what was annoying was having to contact the Treasury and Administration about the broken cabinet. I mean, what even happened? Whoever did it, I wish they could have dealt with Miss Scalar's neurotic tantrum the way I did. We're still finding glass shards all over the floor, and I get screamed at as if I'm the one responsible for it. Scalar needs to put the coffee mug down sometimes. Jeez. It's not a problem anymore. We've already ordered a new display. It should be installed next month. Duolingo jump scare. Oh, I got off track. What were we talking about again? The art dealing thing. I'm actually interested. Oh, well, the plan is to be able to open my own business. I'll start online and work my way up to having a physical location. Uncle Ferris told me he's willing to help me figure the legal part out. I've already gotten a few connections, some people that might be interested in being involved that run some pretty decent prices. For me, I mean. And I'll be selling my own works, too. I've gotten even better at painting since the start of the year. Have you noticed? I think you have, yeah. Although, since I'm no artist, I'll admit some of the details are probably lost on me. Liz nods. Duo your lingo, Star Blue? I don't have one. Maybe I'll buy one sometimes. You'll give me a discount, right? Heh, maybe. Olivia, have you painted anything good recently? No. Oh, sorry. It's fine. Well, I got one I really want to be doing. Why don't you? Because I got dragged here instead. Dang it, Olivia. I mean, not that I'm mad. Liz looks like she wants to say something, the thought dies on her tongue. Yeah. The conversation, and the tension, thankfully, gets interrupted as our food arrives. The social media influencer in me itches to take a photo of each plate, especially with how good the presentation is. Dang, I should have brought my camera along with me. Wait, I have my phone. Say, Olivia, I turned just in time to see her clamp her jaw on the hunk of meat, tearing it right off the bone. Never mind. How's it taste? She takes a moment to chew her food before sending it down the hatch and then smiling as she gives me a greasy thumbs up. Liz chuckles from Olivia's good review as she lowers her head to get the first bite of her pancakes. Given that her neck is making movements equivalent to doing the happy dance, I'm guessing that the pancakes are good here. My view had changed again, and now, having noticed it, I could almost feel the slow rotation of the room. I savor my onion rings while watching Volcadera Bluffs pan right by us, taking in the amazing view. My thoughts reach out for my camera, already calculating the restaurant's rotation with the proper settings to capture the full 360 panorama I could achieve. And a separate section of my mind recalls the other panoramic of the city I saw. I just had a thought. You know how a lot of the backgrounds are made from photographs? What if the person who took those photographs is the same person who's responsible for all of the photography technical stuff in the script? Just an idea. The one that is now nothing more but shredded debris. That flash of territory as Inko approaches her food. Yeah. Say, Liz? The Brachiosaurus takes a moment to respond as she attempts to cram her snout into her glass of water. Stupid glass, no straw. Yeah? So, you mentioned about wanting to be an art dealer and to be a part of that system. I guess it could be cool if we worked together. Come again? I don't know, it just seems like a decent idea. No, I get you. Now it's Liz's turn to pause from her food, sit upright, and carefully tap the napkin on her closed lips. Maybe, but I don't think you'd want that, honestly. No, that'd be cool. I'd like that. Oh. Oop. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Not sure? Yeah, I'm trying to get this whole thing off the ground on my own. Without others' help, right? Like how you feel about your art and stuff. That's different. The point is, it's important to me that my start is as self-sustaining as possible. But you just said you had connections and your uncle. Yeah, family and such. Not, Olivia raises that iconic eyebrow. Friends? Or is it just me? Olivia, don't even start to make a scene. I have to do something. Olivia, Liz, come on, guys. Can we finish lunch first? How am I making a scene, Liz? I'm just curious about your life for once. Well, not like this, then. I'd rather you go back to giving me the silent treatment. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. What have I done? What's your deal? Damien and Inko want us to be friends. Here I am actually trying, and what, am I not worthy enough for your stuck-up... Ugh. You didn't want my friendship before, or Damien's, for years. It just sounds a bit like you just want to be friends now because you can get something out of it. I want to be friends, just not like that. I thought things would finally start getting good. Olivia, there's lots of people less fortunate than you. You have the support of your friends, all the offers. You can't blame me if you just ignore both. Liz, Let me finish, please. I'm not mad. I envy you. I admit it. Anyone would. Effortlessly getting that attention and help? I hate it. I know, and I know it's wrong, but that's what I've been thinking for a while. I see all these things you have available to you all these years, and you just take them for granted. I think it's a wasteful way to live. Look, sorry. I appreciate you guys. After telling to my face how you'd rather be elsewhere and not here while eating at my expense? You know what, Olivia? This is the most nice thing I can do for you at the moment because you really don't deserve anything else. Liz! Liz claps a hand over her mouth. Olivia doesn't respond. She looks down at her plate. I'm going to use the bathroom. She pushes herself away from the table and through the aisles. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Liz. I didn't mean to snap. It's all right. Once Olivia gets back, you can apologize. Well, that could be, although considering some of the work on Snoot Game, the background for Mr. Fernsworth's class is used in Class of 09, but with a lack of vines in the back. That's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that when I eventually play Class of 09, though. That's gonna have to be age-restricted, I believe. Holy crap. Self-doubt, self-sabotage, as well as an actual enemy from outside. You can love a gator and love your fingers, but don't get a steak in between both of them. No, I don't think I can. After everything, I think I deserve that much. Good God, the brief was just to get those two talking and have a good time, and it's like a grenade was thrown onto the table. Wow, I am a terrible fucking Damien, let me tell you. Liz? Yeah? Why didn't it work? Why didn't what work? I know you two aren't on the greatest terms, so I tried to keep the conversation going. So it wouldn't get awkward and nobody would get left out, like Damien does. I feel like this was somehow my fault, but how? I did everything I was supposed to. I don't think you did anything wrong. Why does this never happen around Damien? Good question. I don't know. Liz picks at her plate, popping the yolk on her over-easy egg. She's probably not in the mood if I pushed any further and said anything I want to say right now. Put Liam FJ1 in the corner. Olivia wouldn't like me prodding right now either. There's no options. I try to think of something to do, but... nothing. I can't think of doing anything at all. Not without making someone uncomfortable, or worse, getting them mad at me. The way Inko is feeling right here is so real for how I feel during every single social interaction. And I've never even anticipated something like this happening. It's frustrating. I can't do anything, but I can't do nothing, obviously. Not if I want to smooth things over. Right now, Olivia's in the bathroom. She's actually just fooling around in the hallway, but the point is the two are separated. I can work something out. Should I keep trying then? I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I think I'd rather you didn't. Go find Olivia. A heavy breath escapes me as I stand from my chair. If you'll excuse me, Liz. Her head tilts comically further than needed in question. Just want to check on Olivia. Oh. She waves me off as I turn away. Making my way through the restaurant, a part of me marvels at how I don't even feel a room spin. Kinda makes me dizzy, honestly. But it's just mental busy work to distract myself. After all, I have no idea what I'm going to say to Olivia. Hey, should I ask her how she is? Inko? Well, I'm on the spot now. Hey, just came to see what you were doing. I thought I had more time to think about things, but instead of being by the restrooms, Olivia was... Why are you here by the bar? I wanted to see if they'd give me a mimosa. What? Mimosa? You know, like OJ and champagne? Olivia, you can't drink. If the orange juice does not fit, you must acquit. Says you. She takes a long sip from a glass flute filled with orange liquid. I make to slap it out of her hand, but her tail stops me. I'm joking, jeez. It's like you, Inko, a virgin. She grins at my scowl and continues sipping on her drink. Want some? She holds out the glass to me with that smug smile of hers. Taking the flute, I can clearly see where her lips had touched it. Olivia looks to be leaning forward as I stare at the glass. Ignoring the heat in my cheeks, I tip the glass above me, carefully pouring some of the liquid into my mouth. Oh. This is just juice and ginger ale, Olivia. Handing her back the glass for a split second, I thought I saw some disappointment in her eyes. Maybe I'm just seeing things now. Virgin joke. With a shake of my head, I refocus. Big sip. Oh hey, Arcus Rat. The rust will consume you? What? I came to check on Olivia and fix things between her and Liz. You okay, Olivia? Yeah, totally. Why wouldn't I be? Her eyes are wide open and yet not looking my way. Well, because of what Liz said. Oh. She sags in her chair. Olivia. No, yeah, that was... Her finger circles the lip of her glass as she thinks. I'm not hurt, just frustrated. She looks at her glass one final time and then downs the last quarter of it in a single swallow. Afterwards, Olivia sets it on the bar on top of a couple of crumpled dollar bills. I mean, Liz doesn't get it, Inko. Maybe if she walked a mile in my shoes, she would, but I hate to see you guys go at it like that. Yeah, maybe it's been a long time coming for me, but who cares? A long time coming? I know she's a bit frustrated for a while, probably been holding that in. It doesn't mean I want to hear it, though. All the time I've known her, she's just been so far ahead of me. You heard her yap about how her art's getting better, how many connections she has, and how it'll get her $1 billion or whatever. I'm the better artist, but I don't even know how to start getting my crap together like that. I look at that chasm between us and it fills me with dread. It's just jealousy, I know it. It's just been getting worse and worse every time she mentions getting further in life while I can't even convince myself to try. It's different actually getting her upset at me. Over this specifically, I just mentioned being someone she'd consider a real acquaintance and she blows up like that. Do you want to talk about it? No. You sure? Is that what you wanted to see me about? Partly. The other part is that I'm a bit confused. I wasn't expecting things to go the way that they did. So I came to see you, to ask for help to make this right. Uh-huh. Well, I'm not apologizing, if that's what you mean. Ask Olivia for help. No, that's not it. Rubbing my scalp to help my thoughts flow, I just let my words come out unfiltered. I'm serious here, Olivia. I need some help. I have her full attention now, and my words just keep coming. I feel like I did everything right, but it went wrong. You and Liz got into an argument, and though it wasn't heated, you got hurt. That scares me. For a brief moment, Olivia's gray eyes widened in surprise. I have a few ideas on what to do, but nothing that won't make someone upset. Or worse, get them mad at me. Why do you care about our opinions so much? Because you're my friends? I want us all to get along and enjoy the lunch that we got invited to, but I don't know how to fix it. The only things I can think of will just probably make you guys upset with me. So that's why I'm asking you. Me? You're, self-reliant. You're strong in your stance to never accept help on account of your condition. For the longest time, that confused me. Well, it still does, but you do it. It confuses you. Well, it's like others are willing to give, and giving feels good, so when you deny it, it's like telling them that those thoughts don't matter. One way to put it. That's the part I don't get. Even though everyone stands to gain something for the sake of your goals you don't accept. You take the hard road. Saying it out loud, I like it. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I don't know how. What do you do when there's no good option? Wow. Well, thanks, I guess. I'll put it this way. It'd make an alcoholic I fumbled that so bad. It'd make an alcoholic happy to give him alcohol even though it hurts him. But sending him to rehab, that's painful. It's not a happy journey to make. But it's good for him. Absolutely, that's my point. Don't worry about making others uncomfortable and happy if something needs getting done. In my case, that means ignoring the help. Because my own goals need to be done. Star Blue Snoot Game, the main dating option, the bully character. You know what? Yeah, that is interesting. The ending one is the human protag dying or going into a coma instead. If it makes some uncomfortable, then it's their problem, not mine. When something needs doing, you just gotta do it. And when no option seems like it'll make people happy, well, you do what you can. That makes sense? I'm just making this up as I go along. I think so, yeah. If it's the right thing, you'll get the support you need. After all, I got you. And even if you don't, standing alone for your standards is cool. You'd be trying, and that's what matters. Yeah. Thanks, Olivia. Hey, you're welcome. Saying all that out loud is helping me understand a few things, too. You ready to head back? I have an idea how to smooth everything over. Sure. I'm curious as to what you have in mind, even if you think I won't like it. Alright. I start heading back to the table. Olivia follows close behind me. Hey, you guys are back. Everything good? All cooled off? Yeah, everything's great. I want to give my 2 cents to try to resolve everything. Both of you are wrong. I take a deep breath. I don't really want to have to do this. Olivia watches carefully. She's talked me through this. I can do it. She won't stop being my friend over this. Get over yourself, Inko. Just say what needs to be said. I think you're both acting silly. Really? Both of us? I didn't know that trying to get you guys conversing would make these sour feelings come up. And that was my mistake. My bad. But it's just ridiculous. Liz, I get Olivia was a shut-in and didn't open up to you back then, but that's clearly not the case anymore, is it? That was a question. No, I guess not. Then what use is holding a grudge? Accomplishing your goals on your own is fine, that's your prerogative. But when you say Olivia is just treating you differently because she has something to gain, you know that's not right. E5, Olivia gets tired of your shit and gets up and walks away. Holy shit. Arcus Rat, you are extremely funny. Ending when Protag rips off mask to reveal that all along it was me. Deal. And Olivia, I hate to say this, but you have been pretty thoughtless here as well. Ending 6, Olivia tries to steal pizza from a... I don't understand that reference, Andrew. Liz is trying to do something nice for us, and hey, we all get to have a nice dinner in this crazy place. But when you say you'd rather be home painting, it's not just insulting Liz. It tells me you'd rather not be here with me as well. I love how much you've opened up to us, Olivia. What seems to me is that both of you just refuse to see eye to eye. Too much pride going on. The sooner we stop trying to get the other to act the way we think they should, the better. And I thank you for your advice. I hope you won't be mad at me for saying this. Just please be a little bit more considerate. That's it. Again, sorry if I went too far. You're right. That's a little eloquent for such a little argument. Well, it was bothering me. And it would have turned into something more, given time. Alright, that's fair. I appreciate the effort. That's what you had in mind when you asked for advice? Yeah. I figured it'd be something a lot worse. Like the roast of the century you've been holding in against us. But if that's it, that's also decent. You're usually pretty thoughtful, so I guess I can see how that was a lot for you. Ending 7, Olivia becomes a mob boss and fucking kills Inko. We're nearly adults. We're nearly adults. That's not going to bother us. At least it shouldn't. So, are you good? Yeah. Thanks, Inko. Thanks. That went much better than expected. After things settled down, we finished off our meals. Well, Olivia finished our meals. Liz had noticed it first when one of her whole pancakes simply vanished. And I thought my onion ring pile was looking smaller by the minute. Looking Olivia's way, she simply waved at us with the most bizarre concoction of onion rings, flapjacks, syrup, and beef on her plate. Why does that sound delicious, though? Why does that combination of things sound good right now? What? I'll make you guys better food than this later. The theft of our food stopped shortly after that, and though the portions had diminished, we were all thoroughly satisfied with the meal. I offered to pay, or at least pitch in with the check, but Liz refused. She insisted since it was her idea to begin with. But I had always figured it was the man's place to pay for a date, and this was a date, kinda. Neither of us had our hands lifted from the tiny leather booklet. Gumbo Slice, or The Legend of Gumbo Slice, is an AI art image of a fat black guy in a swamp defending his pizza from encroaching alligators. Oh man, is that a reference to that UFC guy, Kimbo Slice? And I don't know how long we spent playing tug of war over it. Olivia at least found it amusing, even recording our stare down on her phone. But victory was mine, as I managed to palm my debit card to the waitress before Liz could give her back the bill booklets. With that done, all that was left for us here was making the most of the view. Need to leave now. Okay, see you later, Andrew. Thanks for stopping by. Olivia led the way to the observation deck on the floor beneath the restaurant. And she immediately regretted it, as the blast of cold air even had me shiver a bit. You've seen draw-overs of Gumbo Slice with Olivia? Layers upon layers of references in this chat. The altitude plus the late fall weather meant the deck was mostly clear of guests, but the view was easily worth the cold, as I made a mental note to come back here one day with my DSLR. We slowly moved to the railing so we can fully take in the skyline from the bluffs and out towards the ocean, along with the city's skyscrapers that were dwarfed by the spire. And as I scan over it, I double down on the mental note. Because seeing Olivia silhouetted by this beautiful view is... I don't get how you two can stand this temperature. Liz doesn't look that cold, all she's doing is rubbing her arms in a theatrical manner. I'm gonna be by the elevator, guys, okay? Her head moves next to Olivia, and there's a hush of whispers shared between them. Finally, Liz's body turns and leaves, her head following shortly after with a beaming smile. Olivia? Don't ask. Her eyes remain on the horizon. Maybe it's a little colder, though, as Olivia's face is slowly turning red. Inko is the most oblivious being in all of existence. Something up? Well... Her eyes trail down and her hands raise up until she's carefully examining her wrists. I watch as she carefully tests her hands, wincing occasionally as she slowly flexes and rotates her hands. About the painting. Not until you're better. I know, I've been thinking about it. I'm going to be way out of practice when I'm all better. So you're going to practice. She smiles as she turns to me, probably excited about the prospect of starting work on that soon. Yes, I have the mental image for it in my mind and everything. Her smile lessens, though, and her tone becomes uneasy. I just want to make it perfect. I have the mental image, but I won't have the skill. Plus, between the carpal tunnel and rushing out all those pieces for Mia, I think I understand what she's getting at, but... Her smile is back again. Once I can paint again, I need time for practice. I want to show Mr. Iadican the greatest piece I can create. Do you need anything? My words cut my thoughts off. No, I have all the paint and... No, I mean, do you need any help with your practice? Her face glows red again. Maybe. Well, I don't know how much help I can be, what with my complete lack of painting talent. But otherwise, yeah, I'll do whatever I can for you, Olivia. I promise. I cement it with a smile and a thumbs up. Thanks. You have one of the Gumbo Slice images, with Mia being the alligators, and Mia as Gumbo Slice as your Discord PFP. That's great. I think we only stood out in the viewing deck for a few more minutes. After a particularly cold draft had swept over us, Olivia figured she'd had enough of the chilly air here. We made our way back inside to the elevator station, where Liz was standing idly. She and Olivia looked at each other for a moment. The two held their stare locked in on each other for about half a minute before Olivia looked to the side. So, what else is there to do here? A lot, evidently. Once we had gotten back to terra firma, Liz had taken upon herself to walk us around the entire block. The whole area was like a miniature theme park with a lot of street vendors selling tourist trap gifts. We spent the rest of the day just wandering the city park here, enjoying the late fall day to the best we could. Eventually, as the sun sunk below the horizon, Mr. Ferris found us. I had forgotten what we'd come here for in the first place because of I had forgotten that we'd come here in the first place because of a business meeting of his. Liz and him waved us goodbye as they broke away and headed for the parking lot, while I pushed a very tired Gator girl to the metro station. I don't think she minded much, honestly, as she clutched her tail to her chest and used it as a makeshift pillow. She looked so sweet like that. As the perfect background for my phone. She must never learn of this, though, because I don't think I'd survive. But it'd be worth it. Okay, saving. After going home that night, Olivia texted me all night and well into the morning. We ended up talking about all sorts of things. Mia, our art, various shows, just about everything. I've never seen her that excited before. For someone with sore hands, she sure types fast. And for someone that doesn't much like talking at all, she sure types a lot. I certainly can't keep up. And when she didn't want to talk, she sent more doodles and sketches. Sleep wasn't really an option on my end either. And Guts' doodle ventures were quite entertaining to read. Since then, we'd both been texting more every night. Not as much, since I do need my sleep. But right now, I'm just waiting for art class to end. Mr. Triggums is apparently one of those substitutes that demands complete silence until class is over and doesn't care beyond that. So even though I'm sitting about 2 feet away from Olivia, we're having to text each other. She's quite the storyteller with these doodles. Like right now, as I try to keep up with the tale of Guts writing a... What's he writing again? He's piloting the main golem from Gundam Finn. A giant robot from one of the shows she's been wanting us to watch together. I mean, we would. I totally want to. Just Olivia and I, sitting side by side on my couch. Maybe as we're getting tired, we start leaning against each other. I could even offer to keep her warm... Bzz. Whoops. Catching my phone on the precipice of my desk, I see that Olivia had sent an even more detailed version of the previous Guts drawing. And this is why, for how dumb as it is, Finn is still fun to watch. I don't get it. You almost didn't get your phone just now. If you'd watch it, you would. Angry Guts. One day, maybe. Though only if it's with her. One day, yes. Ah, crap, teacher. Don't want to lose my phone. Okay. After a couple minutes without any alerts, I accept that the Gator girl really is done for now. With a quick look at the clock on the wall, I figure I've got a few more minutes before I absolutely must hide my own phone. Yatakan's been out for about a week and a half, so we've been stuck with Mr. Triggums. Apparently, he doesn't like electives. I swipe back, looking through the pieces that she'd sent me over the last couple of hours. A lot of the references go over my head, but the few that don't earn a hearty chuckle from me. Then there's the more detailed ones, the drawings that would be good enough to actually render. I smile as I save those. I'd been meaning to ask if she'd finish one back when she started doing this, but I never got around to it, simply saving it in a folder. A folder that's grown to a couple dozen now. Would Jerome Clarkson please come to the office? Would Jerome Clarkson please come to the office? Thank you. The announcement makes me nearly drop my phone again. They'd been going on all morning, just calling random students to the office. A buzz from my phone has me check it again to see another message from the Gator girl. Never mind. Teach is acting weird today. Weird. I look at our substitutes. Mr. Triggums isn't paying any attention to us. In fact, he's just kinda looking through the desk he sat at. Weird. Aw, man, your coworker and possibly friend just died, and you're teaching his class. And, like, you look through his desk and see all the stuff that he's never gonna have ever again. That's gotta be weird for him. And he's not even an on-screen character. Same here. I think it has to do with the office thing. IDK was thinking it was the short day, maybe? That was another thing. I think the entire class realized something was up with how fast class periods were going today. Yep, it's this chapter again, Scout. Here we are. Aw, man. I look at my phone on the floor, the corner of the screen chipped away. Picking it back up before any of my classmates can step on it on their way to lunch, I also just noticed that Ben wasn't here in class either. IK, I was thinking it was the short day, maybe? Hurry up, short day means lunch is earlier. Heading to lunch, I realize I'm actually not that hungry. Strange, but I guess it's an internal clock thing. I'm just so used to eating at the same time every day. Looks like I'm not the only one, as the usual war zone in the cafeteria has expanded to spill into the surrounding hallways. It's loud enough to even cover up the continued announcements. Urkel, thank you. Mostly. I've gotten pretty good at weaving through the chaos relatively unscathed, but man, these guys have way too much energy. What are they even fighting about? This MF doesn't even use screen protectors. Yeah, what a loser, I say as I read chat on my badly cracked phone. But as always, the table in the back is left alone. Damien is chattering loudly about this day so far to Olivia, who's occasionally poking Liz across the table with a toy claw hand. I am Steve. Liz flails her arms around to shoo away the offending poke, but never bothers to crane her neck down from the rafters. She perks up when she sees me. Yo, it's Inko! Hey, what's going on at Olive Garden today? Whack his noggin. The meter stick falls on my head. Gah. It's just a joke, a quip. How long did it take you to come up with that one? It was about 2 in the morning last night. Whack him again. Hey! Best $10 I ever spent. It looks a little familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it. Just like the real one, she'll bully you for saying dumb stuff. Bite me. Nom, nom. She makes the head gnaw on my face a little. I'll go sit somewhere else. Do it. I got a new friend right here. Oh wow, I have an actual friend that isn't addicted to makeup pheromones. That makes me so happy. Your ventriloquism needs a bit of work. I still think it's a little weird. Oh, live a little. Say, you guys aren't eating either? It's too early. I'll just eat when I get home. The lunch ladies don't really try on half days. Don't they not try normally? The difference makes itself known. I was out for like a week. I'm just gonna steal some of whatever Olivia makes later. Get your own. I've changed my mind. She has too much power. This is great. Olivia reaches over to gnaw on Damien again, and I snatch it out of the air. Ah, no! I aim to hitch it right onto Olivia's snout. Bullseye. It's clamped shut. The evil is defeated. While I'm giggling like a schoolgirl, Olivia uses the chance to grab the hand back. Fine, no more claw today. She hastily stuffs the plastic toy in her backpack. After some more small talk, Damien's attention wanders towards Liz, who seems to be lost in thought. Hey Liz, what's in your head? Huh? Oh, I was just thinking about earlier today. I was talking to Principal Scalar this morning while running some errands for Stuco, and she was really out of it. Out of it? Yeah, like, she didn't want to be here today. I tried to pry, but she clammed up. I've never seen her like that before. She must have drank bad coffee or something. I don't think that makes people sad. I can tell you from experience, it just makes you really have to... Looks like I got a text. Liz pulls out her phone, craning her head down to get a better look at the screen. It's from Ben. Come, having student council meeting. Huh, normally it's a bit more formal than that. I guess since it's a half day and all. Oh well, duty calls. Sorry for having to leave early, guys. No worries, Liz. We can meet up after school. Sounds good. I'll see you all later then. What would you guys want to do after school? I don't know. Maybe we could hang out at my place? Too cold to get in the pool, but I'm sure we can think of something. I look over to Olivia, who doesn't seem to have any objections to the idea, but no input of her own. Got any ideas, Liv? We could doodle some stuff. Like charades? Yeah, make it into a game of sorts. That sounds pretty fun, actually. Then I can really wipe the floor with Olivia. Oh, save your breath, Nito. You know my stuff will own you and your chicken scratch. Wanna bet? Ha, that's a sucker bet. Alright then, loser has to pay for food. Deal. We shake hands, making the wager official. Would Olivia Halford please come to the office? Would Olivia Halford please come to the office? Thank you. The monotone voice of the intercom, combined with the strange atmosphere of the school, is starting to unnerve me. We all look at the Gator girl, who rolls her eyes and starts wheeling away from the table and towards the exit. Spamton G. Nito? Oh, that's cursed. That's deeply cursed. Actually, just Spamton with no hair by itself is a cursed image. After she'd left, everything felt more off. Lunch came to an end, and the school day was close to the same. Just a couple more periods before we can hang out somewhere with all the extra free time. I look at Olivia's desk, still empty 5 minutes into Prockling's class. I mean, yeah, she hates this class the most, but it's really become a habit at this point. Just like how it's become a habit for me to write an extra set of notes for Olivia. I look at the two mostly blank pages in front of me. Like with our other teachers, I notice something's off with Prockling. She barely says anything, instead just asking us to read the chapter on the Great War. I do just as asked, and 5 pages in, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it was the stupidest reason for a world war to break out. A bunch of European countries unhappy with being ruled by a bunch of other European empires deciding to revolt and dragging all of their allies into the quagmire. I'm really struggling to make sense of the information, made worse with how outdated the textbooks are. Seriously, they're written so bad it ought to be a crime. It oozes pro-Gilded Age corporatism, the kind of thing that genuinely believed that anything bigger than a gathering of 10 people was a form of unionism. With a sigh, I have no idea what I just said. With a sigh, I busy myself with taking notes for myself and Olivia. As I do, my eyes continue to wander the classroom. Everyone just looks as disinterested in the subject matter. I look over to Prockling, and she herself doesn't even seem interested in the subject matter as well. In fact, she's just kinda staring off into space. It's highly unusual, considering how much emphasis she puts on proper class focus. Yet, there she is, spacing out like she's no better than the teenagers she teaches on the daily. I'm almost tempted to raise my hand to ask her a question to snap her back to reality when the room's speaker comes to life. Would Incognito please report to the office? Incognito, please report to the office. Thank you. I look up to Mrs. Prockling. I got called, but she's still the arbiter of who leaves her class and when. But she doesn't meet my eyes at all. If anything, it looks like she's actively trying to avoid eye contact. I pack my things and shuffle out of the classroom, all the while the stares and murmurs from other students grow ever more intense. My mind immediately begins to wander. Why am I being summoned to the office? They sure are calling up a lot of people. Maybe it's related to 2 weeks ago? The only thing keeping me company on my march to the principal's office is the sound of rubber soles on tile. They must spend a fortune on polishing these floors. It's not long before I notice another pair of footsteps coming from somewhere ahead of me. I squint my eyes, quickly recognizing the figure that approaches. It's Ben. I guess the student council wrapped up their meeting, though there's no sign of Liz anywhere. As the parasaur makes his way closer, I notice he has a complicated expression on his face. Hey, Ben, what's going on? He flinches as I call his name and looks around like a lost child before he spots me. We make eye contact for a few seconds, but he doesn't say anything. Everything all right, dude? Suddenly he turns away and continues down the hall. A sinking feeling takes a hold of my chest. I almost try to speak up and stop him, but can't think of anything to say. I guess I better get going. Incoming. Incoming. Depression. Is that Don Quixote on the shelf right there? Why is he a raptor? Anyway, after another minute of walking, I reach the door to the principal's office and find it wide open. Come in. I step into the office and close the door behind me, following the source of the deep voice. Oops. I realize now that I've never seen the interior of the office before. It's fairly standard for an office. A long wooden desk, a filing cabinet, a few potted plants, and a couple of shelves for storing all sorts of things. However, on closer inspection, I notice things look a little more disheveled than I expected. Manila folders are strewn across the desk, one of the filing cabinet drawers hangs open, the potted plants are either overwatered or wilting. Is this really Scalar's office? Mr. Nito. My attention is suddenly pulled away towards the hulking figure sitting behind the desk. I can only imagine what that office chair is going through right now. Sir, is everything all right? Have a seat, please. He motions to a small plastic chair on my side of the desk. How have you been, Inko? I oblige his request, taking a seat and trying to suppress my anxiety. I think I'm doing well. He nods to himself, holding his eyes closed. That's good to hear. The whale looks down at an open folder on his desk, taking a moment to look over some kind of document. I have news for you regarding your instructor for AP Art Design and Photography. You mean Mr. Yatakan? Yes, Mr. Yatakan. A fine teacher if student surveys are anything to go by. He also spoke quite highly of you. Did you have a strong relationship with him? Yeah, I think so. Did? Did something happen? My heart drops as Ferris's brow lowers ever so slightly. Suddenly, his tone completely shifts into one more clinical. Over the last 2 years, Mr. Yatakan has been suffering from a rare form of chondrosarcoma that originated in his vertebra. His tone is heavy. I don't quite know what ailment he just named, like he should spit on the doctors responsible for discovering it, but the practiced movements and worn-out features are undeniable. He's by no means a fragile man, but the tiredness he tries to hide is barely concealed. Every student he's broken the news to has taken something more from him. Tensing himself slightly to be as tactful as he can, the attempted reverence is lost as he recited script lines just a few too many times already. He can't muster much more than this flat citation. This analysis means nothing. I'm just distracting myself from the reality of the situation, as though prolonging a confirmation will keep it from happening. Mr. Ferris notices my subtle confusion and clarifies like he must have done a few dozen times already. Bone cancer. Mr. Yatakan was well advised by medical professionals about the treatment options available to him, and the district offered him a generous medical leave in recognition of his tenure here at St. Hammond. He turned both of these down. The cacophony of thoughts swirling in my head makes it nearly impossible to think, impossible to focus on anything. Right now, all I can do is revel in it. Time passes. I'm not sure how much, but I still can't get a grip on my own mind. Ferris is calmly waiting for me to say something, but I can tell he's becoming uncomfortable. There's only one thing that I can muster the will to ask. Why? The whale grimaces. I wish I had an answer. His inflection tells of his own questioning thoughts. The exchange seems to give Ferris the energy to continue, however. On Sunday, Mr. Yatakan was hospitalized due to complications with his illness. He passed away the following morning. Olivia was called here before me. Counseling will be available for you and anybody else affected. I'm sorry, do you know where Olivia went? No, she didn't say. I'd like to go now, Mr. Ferris. Yes, feel free. I stand up from the plastic chair, pushing it closer to the principal's desk. Offering one last nod to the superintendent, I let myself out of the office. As soon as the door clicks shut, I start running. F in chat for Yatakan. Coffin emoji. Damn. Shit, where would she go? The studio room, maybe? It's the best lead that I have. Thanks to all those gym classes, I'll have no trouble getting there quickly. The backpack named Liam canonically died 78 times? That's impressive. My new destination takes me up the main staircase of the school and onto the second floor. It's not long before I'm staring down the hallway of Yatakan's classroom. I breathe a sigh of relief as I spot Olivia sat in front of the door. God, what do I even say to her? My thoughts come crashing to a halt as I see another dinosaur behind her, gesturing manically. Ben? From an outsider's view, it looks like Ben is trying to talk her into something. But there's such a stark contrast between their moods. I suppose Ben is mourning too, but maybe he's just handling it differently? That's the plan I have in mind. What do you think of it? Olivia? Yeah, okay. Olivia's reply came off weak and unfocused, like she wasn't talking to Ben at all. Can I count on you to be a part of it? Sure. I remain obscured from view. This doesn't seem like a conversation I should intrude on. I'll just catch up to Olivia after. Honestly, I'm somewhat surprised Ben is talking to her. No, maybe that Olivia is listening to Ben, that those differences are being put aside. For once, our priorities aligned. I had thought to come find Olivia too. I wonder, Yadakan was a mentor to each of us. Like, he'd always be around to help us, but now, all the little things that make you anxious or aggravated are gone in an instant, and all that's left is reality. Why bother with this dramatic garbage if now's not the time to be brought together, then when? I'm thinking too much. My hands are shivering. Something in my heart threatens to fall apart, but not now. Her voice was too quiet for me to hear, but whatever she said wasn't what Ben wanted to hear. Olivia, I need to know that you're with me on this. Yeah. Olivia. Ben kneels right next to Olivia's chair, putting the two at eye level, though she keeps hers averted to the side. I need to know that you're in on this fully. There's a strange panic in the Parasaur's voice. Please, Olivia, for him. Finally, after what felt like a few minutes, despite it only being 4 or 5 seconds, Olivia looks back at Ben's face and gives him a meek nod. I'm going to take that as a yes, then. The Gator girl gives no other reply to Ben's words. The only sign that his words had registered in her mind were her hands suddenly yet gently shaking, all the while her claws dug even deeper into her wheelchair's armrests. Her bulwark broke at last. Seeing the droplets from her eyes drives a searing pain through my chest. My instincts drove me forward, beyond my common sense. I grip the blue boy's shoulder and pull him up. Ben? The Parasaur's eyes snap up towards me. He makes eye contact with me, a depressive expression coating his face. Inko, what are you doing here? I wanted to see Olivia. Olivia's silver eyes finally lift, and the pain reflected in them threatens to shatter my aching heart. Ben looks back to see those mournful eyes too, though his reaction seems to be the opposite of mine as a smile draws across his face. Inko, hear me out. I'm trying to organize a eulogy for Iadakan. You know, to say our goodbyes to him. He deserves it, at least. Olivia, me, and you. He helped each of us so much, and while the Parasaur rambles on, I turn my attention solely on Olivia. I push past Ben and take a knee next to Olivia, now eye level with her. Ben finally stops talking. I can feel his stare boring into the back of my head. He wants an answer for whatever he was just talking about. A eulogy for Mr. Iadakan. It's so surreal to think about that. To think that I spoke to him only yesterday, and today he's just gone. A eulogy? Yeah, it's the least we could do for Iadakan, as his pupils. He deserves so much more, though. So much. Right, yeah, Olivia's probably feeling what I'm feeling right now, this fight between reality and emotions. Iadakan's gone and I'm still trying to process it, trying to accept the fact that I'll never see him again, or listen to him again, or get advice from him again. Never get to impress him or show him how much I've improved because of his lessons. I don't think I'm ready to accept that he's gone. Ben clears his throat, snapping me from my stupor and back to our current reality. I'm sorry to be so pushy, but I need to know if you and Olivia are in or not. Ben turns to look at Olivia as he says those words. Olivia, meanwhile, continues to stare absent-mindedly at the wall, almost as if Ben's words were not emanating from right next to her, but from a few dozen miles away instead. Ben, I don't think... I suddenly feel a cool, scaled hand fall on top of my own. I turn to look into Olivia's pain-stricken eyes. They gaze deeply into mine, pleading, begging to make the pain vanish. I don't quite know what I should do. We're not ready. Can you give us some time, Ben? The student council president is taken aback by my words. But Olivia... His frustration with us seems to grow with each second. Ben, look, No! I turn fully to Ben with my hands raised defensively. Ben, listen, we need to do this. For Iadakan. For everyone that cared about him. For us. So why won't you help me? We want to, Ben, really. But can't you see that what you're asking for is way too soon? Damn it, we just found out. His breathing is haggard now, his composure completely blown. And his own pain is painted across his face as he allows his glasses to slide away from his puffy red eyes. Ben. Her voice is soft and gentle. Her head turns back to me, her own pain still in her eyes, but also sympathy too. She looks forward, and her words are more resolute. Ben, I understand. The Parasaur boy's breathing hitches. You're right, we should do this, and I will. I promise I will, but... It's too soon. We all need time. But... He clenches his teeth, followed by his fists. He takes a sharp, uneven breath, his glasses sliding off his face and right into the floor. I went too long without water. fish? He's so agitated, so exasperated, and devastated that he doesn't seem to care. My free hand finds itself on my other friend's shoulder, forming a full link between us. Olivia reaches down and picks up the prescription glasses, using her sleeve to smudge them cleanish. Ben struggles, his already broken composure fracturing further. Ben without glasses isn't real. He cannot hurt you. His hands shake as he accepts the proffered eyewear from Olivia, having great difficulty setting them back on straight. Oh, good luck with the Duolingo, Brody. When he can finally look up from the floor, his eyes are even more raw with fresh pain. You promise? Olivia nods at the quivering question, her own lips starting to shake as well. Yes, but for now Ben finally gets it as his emotional dam is near bursting. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Ben walks up to me and pats me on the shoulder. With a final solemn look at Olivia and a nod towards me, he walks out of the classroom and leaves Olivia and I alone. As the door clicks closed behind me, I hear Olivia take a sharp and shuddery breath before turning to look at me. Her eyes are glossy and puffy on the edges. Trails of tears stain down her cheeks, and her expression is of someone who doesn't want to believe that it's true but knows deep down that it is. As I look at her, I feel my own emotions come back twice as hard. No. I need to be strong for her sake, damn it. Olivia, I try to find the proper words to say something to her. Anything that could give her any sense of comfort to ease her pain. But I feel my throat begin to tighten like someone's hand is around my neck. I don't even notice that I'm crying until my vision becomes blurred with tears. Without thinking, I wrap my arms around the baryonyx and pull her into a hug. Olivia seems shocked at first, frozen by my sudden reaction. But then I feel a pair of arms wrap around me and hands clutching my jacket. Olivia begins to softly sob into my shoulder. I feel my own resolve break down as I hear the increasing pain in her cries. When we're like this, I can't even pretend to be the stronger one anymore. Maybe I could bear the pain of Iatican, but seeing Olivia like this, I hold on tighter. I don't want to let her go. Suddenly, she mumbles something into my shoulder. What was that? We pull apart, and I look over Olivia. Her sunken face is covered in splotches and trails of wet and dry tears. She's hyperventilating and looks an absolute mess right now. Despite this, her eyes are fierce and lively as they meet mine. I need to do something. Right now? She doesn't respond, hurriedly rolling down the hall towards the elevator. Where would she... The fountain. The only place she could be going. I step forward to follow her, but stop. You missed Ben without glasses? No matter how I try, I can't continue. This is Olivia's promise, not mine. I have no right to intrude into it like that. My hesitancy robbed me of any choice in the matter. She went alone. I'm a fucking idiot. Alone in this freezing weather while she's going through this? What the hell was I thinking? I start my silent march through the halls, out the building and into the frozen wilderness. It's cold out, freshly starting to snow. The world just feels so much smaller, muted, and colorless. Yeah, nothing important. Now's not the time. I must find Olivia. There's thin tire tracks in the thinly laid-on snow, pathing out down the sidewalk. I follow them. The path is serene. The falling flecks of white make it feel like one of Olivia's landscapes. The fountain must be just around the corner. Oh god. I should have gone with her. Of course the fountain is only accessible with stairs. The steps are tall and coated in a thin layer of ice. It's a death trap. Something rolls down and bumps my shoe. It's one of Olivia's handles. My face flashes with heat and my blood runs cold. Oh my god, I can't lose 2 people in one day, please. I will myself to look up. 8 steps up, Olivia's wheelchair is toppled over on its back. Seat ripped, wheels spread, it's unrecoverable. Olivia's 2 steps further, halfway onto the next ledge. Her arm reaches up for the next one. Olivia! Olivia stops and slowly looks back. It's a look of shock and humiliation at being seen like this. She turns back and starts pulling herself up to the next step. Damn it, Olivia. I take a step and catch myself. It's a wonder she even got this far. But I find my balance and start marching up towards her. Her arm slips on the ledge and she falls back. I caught her in my arms from behind. I didn't make it. She looks up at me, eyes still filled with tears. I carefully set her down on one of the steps. She hides her face in her palms. I failed Iatican. Olivia chokes back a sob. I'm just a stupid fuck-up. Fucking chair. And then continues to weep. I sit there and stare for a moment, trying to figure out what to do. I really haven't ever been in a situation like this. This poor girl is shaking. Rather, it's from the cold or her situation, I don't know. I instinctively wrap my arm around her and pull her close to me. Olivia shifts her body accordingly, and we end up in an embrace. Her sobbing calms down to just occasional hiccups, and her body is no longer sapping the heat from me either. Sorry, Inko. Sorry for what? Everything. Being an asshole, being a failure, making you waste your time on me. I'm just awful. Don't say that. I love you. That's what I wanted to say. Now isn't the time. I'm your friend. You know that. I'm here for you in the same way you're here for me. Olivia breaks away from our hug. Her face is tear-stained, but she isn't crying anymore. She's looking down at her wheelchair. Do you have a spare at home? No. I stand up. I look up the stairs towards the fountain and then back to Olivia. I can call Liz if you want. She can come pick us up after we're done. We can worry about your chair then. You're not a failure, Olivia. We're getting you to that fountain. I reach my hand down towards her. Olivia's confusion erodes into a soft smile as she stares at my hand and then back to me. Come lower, let me grab your shoulder. I've done this a few times before. I lean in closer, and Olivia pivots as best as she can. Once more, she uses her tail as an anchor in place of her legs. It's holding her up pretty well. Never considered it, but that tail must be pretty muscular. Let's go. I want to make Iatican proud. I climb up to the next step, planting my foot on solid ground. Olivia waits for me to stop before quickly moving her tail up to the next step as well. It's sort of like we're each one leg. Simple enough. It only now occurs to me how close we are right now. By close, I mean I'm practically cradling Olivia against my side. Up another step. Eventually, we finally make it to the top. I manage to shuffle to the fountain. You can just pin me down right here. All right. I gently lower Olivia down and place her on the lip of the fountain. There's just enough space for her to sit along the edge, with one leg resting on top and the other hanging off. Stella, did you or did you not open my bag of carbon monoxide inside Volcano High? I'm just saying hypothetically, how would we close it? What? That's a really out-of-pocket reference. I'm not familiar with it. She looks into the still water in contemplation. My eyes follow hers, focusing on the coins that have settled on the bottom of the fountain, though hard to see through the opaque ice. I've stuffed my hands into my pockets for warmth, feeling the skin of my knuckles start to split already. My fingers trace over the quarters that I'd usually use on our lunchtime drinks. Achoo! The powerful sneeze draws me away from my meandering thoughts to see the Gator girl quiver on the cold concrete seat. Damn it! Her jaws clenched tight, baring her sharp teeth to the world. Her nostrils flare with each of her breaths, the hot air creating a puff of visible mist. And her eyes are filled to the brim with a fiery rage and salty tears. I want to break the silence between us, ask for her thoughts. She's deep within them, though, raging within her own mind. Finally, I'm having the moment to process everything that's happened. In the end, it's Olivia that breaks the silence with a single quiet, disdain-filled curse. Damn it. Her eyes shut, keeping her tears from falling. Damn it. A hiss seeps through her lips. I made it. I finally made it, but... The thought goes unfinished. She lets her shoulders down and turns her gaze away from the spouting water. I need to get some water really quick. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. The thought goes unfinished. She lets her shoulders down and turns her gaze away from the spouting water, listlessly gazing towards the obscured afternoon sun that's just managing to peek through the clouds and snow-covered trees. It is the title screen. Maybe she's imagining that's where he is now. But what now? I withdraw my hand from my pocket, holding it open for her to see the pocket change in my palm. Scanning over the water feature before us, I think back to all the times I wanted to do just this with someone else. How about we make a wish? Olivia's brow furrows as she glances off to the side. Her fingers grip her hoodie, and I watch as she considers my suggestion thoroughly. Sure. Sure, a wish sounds nice right now. I motion her forwards. The Gator girl holds her hand out to me, and I drop a quarter into her palm. On 3? I nod in reply. 1, 2, 3. I wish for... Our twin coins flip in the air together. I watch as the coins spin skyward, crashing through the falling snowflakes. At their apex, the coins seem to pause, just to briefly touch one another, and with a synchronized plop, both of the quarters hit the water together. Leaning forward, I see that the coins even landed on the same side. Heads. Wonder if that'll double our chances of making our wishes come true or something. I let out a huff in amusement from Olivia's comments. Though the more I think about it, the more I hope it does. We stay there, looking at the fountain together in silence. For a moment, it feels as though time has stopped around us. It's just me and Olivia experiencing the moment together. It almost makes me forget what had just transpired, what we were dealing with, what kind of future the two of us were looking at. For this moment, though, none of those dreadful thoughts mattered. What matters right now is finding a small bit of peace, of solace. A little calm before the storm that was inevitably coming. A harsh wind chill finally brings Olivia and I out of our thoughts. Hey, I'm sorry for being super distant earlier. You don't have to apologize for that, Olivia. Everyone goes through these sorts of things differently. I know, but I just feel bad. I know I'm not the only one who's sad that Eadican is gone, but... Her pause makes me stop and turn around to face her. I can see it in her face that she's trying to form the right words. Eadican was the first person who I felt was a role model for me. He didn't just believe in me, he made me believe in myself. Not just for my art, but being able to succeed in general. I knew that Eadican meant a lot to her, but I never realized he meant that much to her. More than anything, he actually cared about me. About my thoughts and my dreams. I felt... Olivia's lips tremble as she struggles to voice the thought. Normal. God, I probably sound stupid saying that. I shake my head in disagreement. You don't. Mr. Eadican was important to me as well. It's okay, Olivia. I know how you feel. He gave me some of the best advice I've ever gotten from anyone and encouraged me to follow my dreams, like you. I wish I had met him sooner. There's a moment of silence between us, the air filled with a mix of sympathetic emotions. A shared sadness for the passing of someone who made an impact in both of our lives, but a sense of thankfulness that he graced our lives. Guess we both got our issues, huh? Yeah, I guess so. I breathe a fresh breeze of icy air sends a shudder down my spine. So, what should we do now? I pat off the growing pile of snow off my shoulders and head. Let's see. I look at my phone. School's ending in 10 minutes. Do you want to just chill here until then? No pun intended. Sure. I look around, noticing a tiny bench for two nested against a tree. The Gator girl must have noticed as she's already holding her arms out for me. I recall something, a certain pair of raptors. I kneel down, facing away from Olivia. I can feel the icy flakes melt off of me as Olivia leans against me again. Her powerful arms wrap around my shoulders, clawed fingers digging into my jacket. My fingers lock together to form a makeshift seat for her behind me. With my passenger secured, I make a beeline for the bench, lest I get caught up in what I feel pressing into my back. She lets herself drop onto the bench, uncaring for her landing. Taking a page from the Book of Olivia, I also drop uncaringly next to her, just glad to have some shelter from the increasing snowfall. So, here we are, mission accomplished for Olivia. Now what? My curiosity compels me to ask Olivia something. If you don't mind me asking, what did you wish for? I don't think you can tell someone what you wished for, or else it won't come true. The superstitious side of myself says that she has a fair point, so I decide not to push her any further on it. Just curious is all. We continue relaxing in comfortable silence. I mean, I don't mind telling you if you tell me yours. I guess that's only fair. What did I wish for just now? It's hard to put into words. It's not something specific, rather a feeling that I keep coming back to. Back before I came to this school, I would have wished for more friends, or a successful future, or to take back something embarrassing from the past. But now that I think about it, I didn't need to make a wish. That's too vague. I know, but I don't know how else to put it. Come on, at least try. My best memories from the past few months. This. This? Being outside in the freezing cold? No, not that. What do you mean, then? I struggle to find the words without making myself sound stupid. You know, we've hung out a lot together, but it's not often that it's just the two of us. Just us? Yeah, that doesn't happen a lot. I wish it was like that more often. The Baryonyx's eyes go wide. Shoot, maybe that came across too weird. I mean, I just want to get closer to you, you know? I watched the beginnings of a blush form across Olivia's cheeks. Wait. I didn't mean it like that. I want to get to know you better. She glances away, laughing nervously as her tone changes drastically. Yeah, I understand. Totally. I breathe a silent sigh of relief. You want to know what I wished for? If you don't want to share, you don't have to. No, I asked for yours. It's only right. I wished to know what I want to wish for. I glance across the bench towards her. I can't make sense of anything right now. I want today to be over, frozen, and to have never happened all at once. I want Yatakan back, but I don't want to just replace him with someone else. It's too late to start all over again. She stops to wipe her eyes, but they're already dry. All I've ever wanted was to be someone that he would be proud of. But it feels impossible. She looks away. I ended up picking up something lame, sorry. What's that? Olivia's still looking away, so while I can hear her hesitation, I can't tell what she's thinking. I threw that coin, and out of everything racing in my mind, the one thought that stuck out the most was just... She chews her lips in contemplation for a moment, and when she finally continues, her voice is a soft whisper. I want somebody I can trust. I feel my face heat up from her words and her tone. Even with her head turned, I notice a red flush creeping over Olivia's face, too. I instinctively jerk my head the other direction. Shoot, what do I do now? We're both sitting motionless, neither daring to say another word. If I listen closely, I feel like I can hear her heartbeat from here. She can probably hear mine as well. I don't even notice the cold anymore. Maybe we can just stay like this for a few weeks. No, don't be ridiculous. You need to tell her how you feel. I clear my throat, searching for words that wouldn't come. She just said she wanted somebody to trust. I mean, you can trust me. I hear shuffling from Olivia. Damn it, I can't work up the nerve to turn my head towards her. My neck feels like a rusted hinge as I try to disobey my body and look at her through my periphery. Do you trust me? Despite my words, she nods her head vigorously, the blush growing dangerously bright. Well... I shift my body towards her on the bench. I trust you too. Suddenly she shakes her head a bit to bring herself back to reality. Maybe I can be honest with you then. You're silly and you're ridiculous. Maybe a little over-optimistic. You're thoughtful and adventurous and you're so willing to just take me with you. You don't treat me any differently for this stupid thing. She lightly hits the armrest of the bench. I guess I stopped noticing it at some point. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're like... So many words dance on the tip of my tongue. Like... My mouth and my brain are at a standstill, one wanting to just blurt whatever, while the other keeps it all in and disseminates it in a thoughtful manner. What comes out is... Blaharago. A furious snort rips from the Gator girl's nose, followed by peals of laughter. Out of embarrassed shame, I cover my face with my hands. What was that? I curse my nerves as I try to protest her continued guttural guffaws. Come on, Olivia, I'm really trying. The snowflakes that had managed to still land on me melt away from the extreme heat radiating from my whole head. Olivia acquiesces, though, drawing back into just a very smug grin. Okay, take two, Inko. My head's temperature finally drops from the core of the sun to a more manageable volcano. Thanks, jerk. Seeing that small quirk of her own lips, I can't stop a smile from growing on my face. I guess, be honest with her and yourself. Honest. At the very start, I thought you were just out of it. What? You almost ran me over in the hallway. Oh. She frowns and looks away. Sorry. And then you tried to get my seat moved. Sorry. And the claw thing today? Not sorry about that. I figured. And you used to be hard to talk to. I felt awkward every time I'd even try. Like, thank Raptor Jesus for Damien and Liz, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten to know the real you. Olivia wrings her clawed fingers together. And what do you think of the real me? She's easily the most caring person I've ever known. I mean, yeah, she can be a little selfish and doesn't think ahead sometimes, but when she cares for something, she just has to do everything she possibly can for whatever it is. Is that what you think? Yes, I think you're quite caring and passionate and what? And I know Mr. Iadican saw that in you too. Olivia's eyes water at the mention of our mentor. Thank you, Inko. Now's the time, Inko. Just say it. Hey, Inko? Say it, say it, say it, say it. Do you like me? Yes? Why does talking have to be so hard? I prepare for Olivia's smug one-liner to crush my weak confession. Instead, I watch as Olivia brings her hood up and hides her eyes with it. Really? For some reason, seeing her like this fills me with a well of confidence. Yeah. Can I hear you say it? I like you, Olivia. I don't get how. The scene. Her hood peels away just enough so I can see her shimmering silver eyes. Why would you like someone like me? Well, I like you too. Olivia brings her legs to her chest, holding all the limbs tightly to her. She brings her hoodie's hem over her legs, transforming herself into a crocodile-shaped igloo. And a live-glue. Slippers was a bad idea. Oh, crap. Yeah, you okay? Fine, just call someone. I cough awkwardly and get my phone out to call Liz. Hello? Inko? Is that you? Aren't you supposed to be in class right now? Scalar let Olivia and I out early. Oh, okay. I was told about Professor Iadican. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm with Olivia by that old park by the school. Her chair's busted and we're kinda stuck. There's a keening whine from the bundled crocodile next to me, her tail wrapping around her as if to hug herself. Broke? In this weather? Are you two okay? We're fine. Can you come pick us up? Sure, I think I remember where that is. I'm with Principal Scalar right now. Once we're finished, I can get you two on the way home. Thanks. After some shuffling, the call drops. I turn back to Olivia. She seems more anxious than anything right now. You alright? Yeah, I'll be okay. The stovepipe maw of the Olivglue clatters quietly in the cold. My concern finally takes a hold, forcing me to finally close the gap between us. She said the chair had no replacement. It'll take a while for a new one to come in. That means she'll be trapped at home, completely sealed off from the outside. Man, the beginning of Olivia's annoyed protests die of exposure, becoming a grumbling acceptance as I wrap my arms around her shivering form. You're lucky you're warm, Inko. Yeah, I definitely feel like it, as her body shifts and nestles closer against me. Olivia's tail lays on my lap, the shivers reverberating through it the most. I lay my palm atop it, feeling the cold limbs shaking slowly, still. Some long-distant trivia about limbs losing heat the fastest springs to mind, and in the hopes of keeping the frostbite away, I pet the heavy tail. As I do, I hear the silliest sound rumbling from Olivia's chest and through the rest of her. It's like a purring cat, almost. There's a new sensation on my cheek now, soft and warm. Daw! She's... Her lips are planted firmly on my cheek, and this feels nice. As I continue to warm her tail for her, I feel her warm lips press more and more against my cheek. I don't know if kisses are supposed to go this long, and be this wet. And now the lips are moving, and some pointy things are there, and... Munch. And that's her teeth. Olivia instantly lets go of my cheek from her non-lethal bite. Ah, fuck, sorry. I'm new to this stuff. I'm nervous. It's okay. Really. I put a hand to my cheek to feel the damage. I feel the indents of her fangs, but nothing serious. I almost even start falling asleep before we hear a car pull up to the bottom of the hill. Olivia perks up and leans forward to try and see who it is. A few seconds later, Liz's head raises above the stairs, scanning like a submarine periscope. Crap, it's gonna be tough getting all the way back down, even with Liz's help. I look back and smile at Olivia, still huddled against herself and clinging to my arm. You ready? Today seemed to drag on endlessly. Liz's arrival had ended our embrace, and she had quite the dour look on her face. She said she'd been in a meeting with the principal, and I could only imagine how the faculty and student council were reacting to Iadican's passing. Her mood seemed to lift a little, at least, when she saw Olivia and I both huddled together beneath a tree. Olivia's mood, on the other hand, plummeted. Probably from the way Liz and I had to carry her to the car. The ride to the Payne household had been silent, save for Olivia's grumbling and embarrassment. I think I'd be in a similar mood if I was treated like a sack of potatoes, but then again, how else were we supposed to carry her? I should suggest more leg workouts to Coach Solly, just in case. Damien and Randy were waiting for us at the curb, the older man looking over Olivia with worry. When your friend told us, Soph and I were beside ourselves. I'm fine, Randy, just... Randy didn't really hear her, as the instant her car door was open, her legal guardian pulled her up into one hell of a bear hug. Come on, I'll get you kids some hot cocoa. Damien watched on with a smile of relief as his father hauled her over his shoulder and marched into his home. You guys want to stick around? Vinny's still in school, so we have the consoles to ourselves. It's still pretty early, all things considered. Sure, I'd love some hot chocolate right now. Liz? I'd like to, really, but the council still needs to prepare the arrangements for Iadican's... well, you know. Maybe I'll come by after, if I can. Alright. Well, if you do, I'll make sure there's some cocoa left. Appreciate it. With that, Liz drives off down the street. Come on, let's head inside before we turn into popsicles. Settling into the well-worn couch, I notice a distinct lack of a baryonyx. I like that Damien has a jacket that he never uses, even when it's actually snowing. Where's Olivia? Randy chimes in from the kitchen, busying himself with an old-fashioned kettle. She wanted to rest on her bed for now, boys. Give her some time. No one can resist hot cocoa during weather like this, especially how I make it. Never had home-brewed hot chocolate, but if it's anything like his cooking, then it must be some good stuff. After a few minutes, Randy comes out with a tray. Here you guys go. He passes around a few Christmas-themed mugs, labeled with the family's names, and leaves the last one on top of a nearby drawer. You're gonna have to be Vinny for a bit. You cool with that? Huh, yeah. Thanks, Randy. Man, you look cold. Were you out there long? It's true. By now, the snow on my jacket is melted and my clothes are chilly and soaked. Feel free to take a load off until you warm up. I'll be in my bedroom resting. Holler if you need anything else. He gives Damien a pat on the back and leaves. The mug is hot to the touch, but it's a welcoming feeling to warm up my icy fingers. I take a moment to gently blow air on the beverage to cool it down before moving it to my lips. Yeah, it's pretty good. Damien is chugging his. He finishes the swig and sets the glass down. That must have been half of it in one go. Well, there are multiple ways to enjoy anything. After today's events and weather, I really needed this. Another sip. It really is helping to warm me up. I didn't even notice how cold I was. Hey, Vinny. Yeah? You good? I'm holding it together, yeah. Still a bit scattered. I don't blame you. Hey, Pops doesn't want you venturing back into the tundra out there. You up for a game or something? He gestures to the entertainment setup. No, but go ahead. I'll watch. Damien thinks for a second, the few gears in his head turning in conflict. Really, I don't mind. Alright, I'll get set up. Damien sets his game up, searching several mismatched cases for the right CD and giving the screen a good thwump to get it to work properly. Grabbing a controller, he turns on the Xrox One and selects something called Rock Ring ODHG and settles deep into his groove on the couch. This one's my favorite in the series. After a minute or two of gathering a full lobby, the Dilopho Spino Dino picks up his class and begins his virtual rampage. Only a minute in and he manages to get the first kill. I'm just a bit burnt out for the day, getting pretty tired actually. Hey, Inko? Yeah? Olivia didn't come back with her wheelchair. Did something happen? Yeah, she isn't taking Iadican's passing well. Man. Well, I'm glad you were there for her. My eyes remain on the screen, lost in the vibrant violence as some in-game announcer proclaims Damien's digital massacre. On his part, Damien's frills wavered like crazy, and it looked as if his arms also wanted to wave in victory. You want to talk about it? I don't want to take up your time, Damien. Come on, man, we've known each other for a while. You can be honest with me. Not sure where to begin, really. Yatakan was really cool. I don't really have the right words for it. Somehow I think I'm unqualified to speak on it compared to Olivia. She knew him better than I ever did. He was important to her, yeah? We talked about it for a bit before Liz picked us up, but I'm worried I'm not much help. Well, that's what we're here for, right? To help her out any way we can. Best thing to do is to be ourselves for her, and she'll eventually go through the motions in her own way. Yeah, that makes a surprising amount of sense. I slowly look up from my mug over to Damien. And you make it sound so easy, too. He briefly meets my gaze before returning his attention to the screen. I know I'm not the smartest guy around, but I do know Olivia. We don't share parents, but she's still my older sister. Older sister? Her birthday's first, duh. And knowing Olivia, she'll be able to manage. But how are you managing? Me? Trying to sort the maelstrom of emotions running rampant in my head is... overwhelmed, I guess. I wish I'd gotten to learn more from him. Olivia could probably recite some of his lessons by heart. She probably could. I remember the first time she got to work with some special paints in his class, she was just ecstatic. She came home a mess, covered all over with blues and greens and leaving tracks behind wherever she went. When Mom saw her carpet vandalized, she threw her right in the backyard and hosed her off. I ended up joining in because it looked fun. Eyeing the hallway leading to her room, a part of me wants to see if she's alright. You want me to react to HFJ1 at stream? You think that would be a fun experience for you, at least? Maybe if I start doing reaction content. That part simply wants to be closer to her again. Damien looks back again, the unspoken question clearly written across his arched brows. What about Olivia and you? Speaking of, I may have told Olivia that I liked her. About time. Huh? What? You two have stuck together like glue ever since the summer barbecue. I mean, come on now, anyone with half a brain could see that you were becoming more than friends. All the signs were there. Although it does worry me a little. Why's that? Well, think about it. Your teacher just passed away, you're both wrecks right now. What if it's just that suspension bridge thing? I don't know, man. It only just happened. You're right, sorry. I do like Olivia, I know that. I guess I'm a little scared of the future. How so? There's just a bunch of things I still don't get about Olivia. Or maybe friendship in general. When I first arrived at St. Hammond, I never really had any friends like you guys. So to suddenly be involved in all of this, I don't know. I think I get it, yeah. Things can be a little dramatic around here. You have to leave soon, you're on a band trip, so... Oh, good luck, Josephina. Hope your band trip goes well. One way to put it. What's so different about your old friends? Never really had any. Well, that's not true. I had friends, but they were like day friends, you know? Classmate friends? Yeah, I got a bunch. And your folks constantly moving means they only ever lasted like a year tops. Yeah, am I a day friend? No way, you come to our parties and everything. In fact, look. He points to the subtle discolored patch on my jeans where Vinny's acid punch had failed to completely wash off. We got you marked. Thanks, it means more than you know. To be honest, I always had a good feeling about you. I thought you'd be a decent addition to the group, but to see Olivia actually start opening up around you 2 months ago, that was unthinkable. All those years I was trying alone, you know? Made it all worthwhile, not to take credit or anything. I'm just really glad to see her happy after so long. Moments of Olivia and I together flash into my head. Good, bad, and everything in between. It all culminates into a single image of her staring up at me with that smile of hers. Me too. Hard to believe that she's been dealing with so much inside when I first met her. Well, Inko, some people just have a lot of problems that they hide from the world. For example, He puts the controller down and shifts to look me in the eye. His character is instantly sniped. That hot chocolate gave me a tummy ache. I'm being serious. That was serious. It can be little things like that. Little stresses that add up. Now, it doesn't bother me, but someone else? It might just about ruin them. If you're trying to get with Olivia, I'll give you a nickel's worth of advice my dad told me. If a girl you like asks to wear your shirt at 2 a.m. and to bake cookies, she's an absolute keeper. Huh, that's some pretty good advice. Just don't break her heart, yeah? I wouldn't dare think of it. Damien offers me a fist-a-bump, to which I happily reciprocate. A door creaks open. Both our heads turn back at the sound. She kneels in the doorway to her room, leaning against the side railing. Damien nods to me and continues his game. The ambient gunfire and controller clicking fills the silence. I take the hint and stand up, slowly approaching Olivia as she tries to shuffle down the hallway. She's completely upright in a display of pure confidence. Even her tail is upright, as if to amplify her dignity. I'll have to tell her how cute that is when I'm not so drained. I wordlessly offer her a hand, and she accepts. With her on my shoulder, I walk the both of us towards the living room couch and plop down on it with her. Oh, here. I lean forward to grab her cocoa from the coffee table. Most of the warmth is gone by now. I guess I can go warm it up in the microwave for her. Mm-mm. She's tugging my arm. Come on, it's cold. She starts leaning harder against me to keep me from getting up all the way. All right, jeez. I give her the mug, and she goes to start sipping instantly. I was going to warm. My voice dies as I feel her settle against my legs with a relaxed hum. Her body relaxes more, and I'm allowed to sit up enough for her to settle in by my shoulder. She's warm. The two of us watch Damien's game continue. Olivia continues sipping down her drink, letting one hand free from the mug. Her hand finds its way to mine, and our fingers curl around each other's. Damien plays a few more games. I don't really keep track of how well he does. He finishes one last match and yawns, stretching back over the couch. Olivia has cat behavior, to be honest. Yeah, definitely. Well, reptiles and cats aren't that different. Alright, that's probably enough for me. I'm gonna get going, give you two some space. Okay. Damien gets up from the couch and slides his controller near the cabinet where it laid before. On his way out, he stops to look right into my eyes. Hey, keep things chill, man. Don't do anything stupid, alright? Yeah. He nods and heads off to the depths of the house. And just like that, it's quiet once more. Is she asleep? Hey. I, don't think you've seen my room before, have you? Not at all. Would you want to see? I'd love to. I watch her blush. Am I getting good at this? Okay, just walk me there. Similar to before, I help Olivia off the couch, and we shuffle our way towards her room. Wow. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Olivia's room to look like, but I'm surprised. It's the air that hits me first, a strange mix of heavy, fake, floral candle trying its best to cover the almost nostalgic scent of art supplies. Band posters and paintings of dinosaurs cover a lot of her wall space like the room is her own personal canvas. Her desk sat beneath the window again. What space that wasn't covered by the faded-looking paper was instead covered in dried-up paints. Right next to that, a dresser holding up a decades-old television and retro gaming consoles. All in all, it reminds me of the rooms they'd show in older high school movies. So, where do you want? Just on the floor is fine. I gently lower Olivia to the floor, letting myself sit cross-legged next to her in the process. So, what do you think? I think it suits you. I figured you wouldn't have any chairs. I got this really soft rug and a beanbag chair over there. She gestures at a beat-up lump in the corner near a large lamp. Olivia pulls something off her bed. It's a laptop, open to a music program. Scaly car, green cat. But I don't recognize any of these songs, or bands, or albums. That's a pretty big track list. What music do you listen to? I'm sort of a closeted metalhead. Whenever I'm alone, I put on some at full blast while I do chores or art. Generator Head, Super Death, Iron Tomb, you name it. What do you listen to? Please let us get in, don't lock us away. Mumble rap. I listen to mumble rap. What is she holding the laptop with? If that scratches your brain, then... Anyway, my dad was super into heavy metal when I was a kid, and he got me into it. When Damien and I would be playing out in the yard and his mom would be making lunch, our dads would be in the garage blasting heavy metal while they worked on the car. Working on cars? Yep, my dad and Uncle Randy would fix up some cars. She clears her throat. Huh, I think that's the first time I've heard you call him Uncle Randy. Yeah, I call him that sometimes, along with Auntie Sophia. She's a wizard. HFJ1 actually got you into Pearl Jam and Radiohead. Huh, that's cool. I prefer Ozzy and, like, Black Sabbath and White Zombie when it comes to metal, and Rob Zombie, of course. You call him Auntie Sophia? Your right hand comes off? What do you... Olivia lunges over to chomp at my hand, and I have to take a moment to check my fingers just in case. Hey, I was joking. So was I. But yeah, I listen to a lot of this. You want to hear any? She offers me the trackpad. Anything I see, huh? Say, what kind of music is B-flat? Music is a bit lame, actually. Wait here. There's actually something else. Something else? Something nobody else gets to see. I'm gonna show you my chest. Here it is. Look. Olivia holds out a small wooden box. There are 2 rusted metal latches that have long since aged past their use. I can't see it quite well in the dim lighting, but I think if I were to hold it up in the sunlight... I'd see a thin layer of glitter glue coating the whole thing. It's also been painted carefully, with very thoughtful attention to tones. What could even be inside? Honestly, no guess has come to mind. It could be anything. What are you waiting for? Open... What are you waiting for? Open it. I carefully open the lid. Flat Friday. Almost. It is Thursday where I am. Inside is Olivia's chest. I mean, the box filled with various baubles and trinkets. What is all this? It's like my own little hoard. It's like my own little hoard. I've been saving up lots of little things through the years. Nobody else has ever seen it. She holds out the box for me to take. It's heavier than it looks. This must be some high-quality material. With the box in hand, I sit on the end of the bed. Olivia manages to crawl her way up to sit beside me. She reaches inside to grab... Oh, that's cool. It syncs up to a song as a Easter egg. That's neat. Ah, I love this little guy. What's that? Let me show you. Olivia rummages through the box and plucks out a tiny hexagon piece. She then places the plastic ball onto it, and right before my eyes, it transforms into this little robotic-looking dinosaur. Oh! This is a Gabucon. Dinoid, to be exact. I was hooked on the show when I was younger, and I was always asking to get the toys for my birthday and Christmas. Vinny's got the rest of my old collection. This one was always my favorite, so I keep it here. What's that? That's my first tooth. Wow, never seen baby dino teeth up close before. It's so tiny and sharp. What's that one? That's my 58th tooth. Your teeth grow back? Yours don't? Humans. What's that? What? Okay. I meant to click the rock behind it. What are these? Just a couple of cool rocks I found around. I liked how they looked, so I kept them. I grabbed one of the rocks to give it a closer look. It's gray with thin brown lines all around it and smooth to the touch. It'd be a perfect skipping stone. But that one's my favorite. It tastes like salt. How do you know that? I tasted it. Oh, hey. Whoa, some of these look really cool. Of course they do. I picked all these out myself. Humans and their teeth. Where'd you get these? I pick one up I pick one up whenever I see one. They're a dime a dozen. A paintbrush? A very important paintbrush. Olivia's lips turn upward slowly as each bristle of the brush flicks away from her thumb. Though she averts her eyes away from mine, I can see the green of her scaly cheeks turn red. Sorry, just got sentimental for a moment. This was the first brush I ever had. Dad gave it to me on my 5th birthday. Her tone falters lightly. Dad always asked me to make him little drawings. And every time I finished one and gave it to him, he'd tell me it looked amazing. I could barely draw a circle back then, but he'd still gush over them and... And? She shakes her head. I think he put them in some scrapbook. I don't know, but he kept them all. Olivia looks back to me, her embarrassment turning into bashfulness. Thanks. Oh, this used to be Uncle Randy's. Does the engraving mean anything? She shakes her head with a soft smile. Not really, he just said it's harder to steal and hide stuff that looks unique. Really, I think he just thought it looked cool and not tacky. Well, I think it looks cool. You would. It's a picture of Olivia's chest, of Olivia at the shore. This was from last summer. Dad had a weekend off and we all went swimming together at the beach. The sun was just setting and we decided to take a picture since it was a nice view. Plus, I felt pretty. Maybe, we could go together sometime. Maybe, yeah. She places the photo back in the box. Minutes go by as Olivia continues showing off her personal little hoard. All tiny objects that Olivia has chosen to keep with her this whole time, eagerly explaining the significance of every little piece of her that she's got locked away in here. By the time we're done, she's resting her muzzle on my shoulder. It's been a crazy long day. I'm pretty exhausted myself. On that note, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. I'm getting kind of tired and I have been sitting for a while now. Thanks to everybody for showing up. Andrew Parsons, Cramel, Eden Florence, Arcus Rat, Brody. It's good seeing you all. Oh, and the LMAO brothers, and Shinaji Comediante. Sinaji Comediante. I'll be back next week, and tomorrow and Saturday I'll be playing some other games. Saturday's gonna be age-restricted, though. That's mouthwashing, and that game's really messed up. I might check it out. You know what? I'll look it up after I end stream. So, thanks for showing up again. Later, everyone.